From Assumption College in Worcester, Massachusetts, Charter TV3 presents coverage of NCAA football. This afternoon, it's a big NE10 matchup as the Merrimack Warriors visit the 24th ranked Assumption Greyhounds. Let's kick it off right here on Charter TV3. Hello, everyone. Welcome down to the field. Kevin Shea alongside of Andy Lacombe. And Andy, you look at these teams in this matchup. You have the great high-flying offensive Merrimack against the very stingy defensive Assumption, a group that has only given up one touchdown over the last 2 games.
Yeah, and you have a quarterback for Merrimack who averages more than 400 yards passing a game, a trio or more of receivers that can really light up a highlight reel. But for Assumption, a defensive line that likes to get after the quarterback. 17 sacks already this season. Something's got to give, offense versus defense today.
All right, it is Assumption and Merrimack. We're back with the opening kickoff right after this.
Bay State Savings Bank brings you Kasasa. What's Kasasa? It's a catchy word for earning cash that just might make you want to dance. Get paid for doing simple things you do anyway. That's free Kasasa checking.
Ask for Kasasa by name at Bay State Savings Bank, proud sponsor of the Friday Night Football Frenzy.
I'm District Attorney Joe Early, and I'm proud to partner with Charter Communications with our pledge to help raise awareness that bullying should not be tolerated. From local school students, here is our message.
Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it. Don't forward it. Think twice what you type.
We need to foster safe environments for students in their schools and their communities. Join the anti-bully crusade. Take a stand to lend a hand. Don't be a bully.
Presented by the law offices of Joseph J. Corriglia.
Doors. Every door is different. Every door, unique. And each one tells a story. Open a door at Unibank and you'll find a unique place. A bank where we listen to you and find answers. All to help you write your unique success story. Welcome to the new Unibank. Please, after you. Unibank. Bank different. Bank unique. Member FDIC. Member DIF. Equal housing lender.
Welcome back, everyone. Sorry, multi-sport stadium.
It is a hot, warm day here at Assumption College. The Greyhounds and the Warriors of Merrimack getting set to go. And a big crowd as always here. It's been customary now, Kev, over the last couple of seasons with Bob Chesney's bunch as we get set for our national anthem here on the field.
In today's world,
and we see a different thing here that you don't see everywhere. And what the Assumption players will do is put their right hand on the shoulder of the player in front of them as a sign of unity, team unity, and social unity as well, as they look to make a positive change in this society.
And they're making an announcement to those assembled here today about what the Assumption football team is doing. Bob Chesney talked to his guys and he said, guys, what do you want to do? What do you want to do about things that are going on? How do you want to make a statement? They did a day of service where they were out in the community all over the place and helping senior centers and youth centers, and that's what Assumption College football has become. They're out there in the community helping people, and here is our national anthem. Just a few moments ago, we caught up with the head coach of the Assumption Greyhounds, Bob Chesney. All right, Coach, Merrimack, high-powered offense. We talked about them all week. What do you do to shut them down, and the keys for you guys on the other side of the ball?
Yeah, well, we just got to tighten up our coverage. You know, I think we are fortunate to play against the receivers that we have on our team on a day-to-day basis, and we'll see just how good are these guys compared to that. I think we do a good job in practice all week. Now it's a matter of, are these guys a little better than our guys, a little below our guys? Where are they? That will come out in the wash. We get some pressure on the quarterback like we've been able to do, and try to make him a little bit uncomfortable and get him to toss a couple up for us that we could compete for. They're going to throw the ball 60 times by the end of today, and it's our job to make sure that a couple of those end up in our hands.
Warm day affects both teams.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And this is, I'm going to talk to our team about it, but this is why when you go back, a lot of teams at all camp were practicing from 8 to 11 to avoid this. We went from 2 to 5 to be in this. So here it is. It's time to figure it out. Did it all work? Does it all come together in the end? And we'll find out in a couple hours from now.
Good luck. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, Bob Chesney with us in the pregame. Assumption has won 3 straight in this series. The series, though, largely dominated by Merrimack. The last meeting last year, 55-23. Assumption, the big winner in that game. They were nationally ranked in that game, a top 20 team. They are a top 25 team, are the Greyhounds this week coming into the Merrimack game. 24th in the country, and Assumption's offense will get the ball first as Merrimack set to kick it away. Mason Spence and Deontay Harris back for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, Deontay Harris, sensational return guy, took a kick back for a touchdown in week 1, a punt back in week 2, has not been kicked to since.
And not surprisingly, they don't kick to him. They kick towards Spence, and the kick is through the end zone from Corey Resendez, the place kicker for Merrimack. So here come the Assumption Greyhounds offense for the first time. And it's an offense, Kev, you talked about it with Coach Chesney this week, that they still really want to get going. Mark Monks, he's a veteran quarterback now. You see his numbers, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 539 yards passing. Had a big game against Merrimack a year ago.
Dylan Oxen, the running back, and he's a guy that can get this offense going pretty quickly, as he is a big, strong, fast running back, deceptively fast.
Oxen goes kind of offset there and gets the carry on the first play of the game over the 25-yard line, maybe a yard for Oxen in this read pass offense, that option offense that the Greyhounds will feature here this afternoon.
Yeah, some of those D linemen on this Merrimack team are going to be tough to move. Jesse Jones, number 91, was in there. He's 6 feet, 320 pounds.
Jones has 20 tackles. He's 3rd on the team in tackles from an interior defensive line position. There's the shotgun set, and it gives to Deontay Harris. Good speed to the outside, cuts it back over the 30. 35 has a first down before he's knocked out of bounds. They'll spot him out at the 39-yard line. 13 yards on the carry for Deontay Harris.
I'll tell you what, we'll take a look at the offensive line for Assumption. Quentin Hall, Tyler Armale, James McKerney, Patrick Corcoran, Jason Rice, and they got some big boys up front, but they have some skill guys and some playmakers like Deontay Harris.
And the give is to Oxen on first down quickly, and Oxen over the line of scrimmage for a couple. He was chased down there by that interior defensive line.
You talked about Oxen, Falaki, the tight end, Deontay Harris, Ashton Grant, Sam Blake, as talented a trio of wide receivers as there are in the FCS in the country. We're talking about the entire country right now. Assumption's ranked 24th in the country, back-to-back trips to the NCAAs. These guys can play with anyone in the country.
Ashton Grant has drawn the attention of NFL scouts. More than 24 teams have been by Assumption here so far this summer and fall. There's Monks to throw. He's looking downfield. And incomplete. It was intended for Brandon Swain Price. Another good-sized receiver on the outside for Monks in this Assumption offense.
One of the things I love about when you go and watch Assumption practice is how they compete in practice and how they'll stop practice quickly. I mean, every 10, 15 minutes, they will have a competition that everyone's watching. They'll go 1s versus 1s with the wide receivers and the defensive backs, with the quarterbacks. It's live. It's a game-like situation. And I think that prepares them very well for Saturdays.
3rd and 7 coming for the Hounds. Monks in the shotgun with Oxen offset behind him. And Monks to throw on 3rd down over the middle, and it's dropped A little bit behind the receiver, intended for Ashton Grant. And it'll bring up a punting situation.
Yeah, Monks got drilled right after he threw it, and that might have affected that ball. We talked about the defensive line and some big boys up front. Jesse Jones, 320. Dancery's 260. Holmes is 255. Tyree Holmes and Avery Taylor, 6'1", 250. And they've forced a punt for Assumption early on here.
And Seamus Wallace, the punter, honorable mention for all NE10 this past week. 7 punts against Southern Connecticut, and he averaged 48 yards a kick. The special teams of Assumption, one of the big strengths here. Wallace gets the kick away high. Kick, it's going to fall and take an Assumption bounce inside the 20, down inside to the 17-yard line.
That's a
42-yard kick for Wallace.
Martin Spence, Tyus Boykin, Sean Springs Jr., the 3 gunners, got down there real quickly, and they ensured that there was not going to be a return on that punt. That's a credit to those 3 gunners. Boykin's a local kid, played at St. Peter Marion, but Bob Chesney talked to us about what a great job the punter's done, but the entire unit, including those 3 gunners.
There's C.J. Scarpa. You saw his numbers. Gaudy, after 3 weeks, already more than 1,200 yards passing and 8 touchdowns. Was picked off a couple of times a week ago against Bentley. They'll try to put some pressure on him. The run first, and bottled up in the middle of the wash is Merrimack's featured running back, Derek Villiard. He's got 194 yards coming into today.
Eric Brown, Miles Cobb, Joseph Pritchard, Hunter Salilla, and Jack Flanagan, the offensive line for the Merrimack Warriors. 290, 285, 265, 295, 280. The lines and the way that all these teams in the NE10 have grown physically over the last 5 to 7 years is really phenomenal.
Here's Scarpa, shotgun. And the give is to Villiard. Villiard on the outside, tries to get outside, and a nice job knocking him out of bounds was Sean Springs Jr., who stayed home in the cornerback position.
Derek Villard, Sebastian Lucas, Devin O'Reilly, Justin Mount, the wide receivers and running backs, and Dylan Salva is the tight end at 6'5", 250. He's a big weapon and a tough matchup.
Lucas, the leader in receiving yards on the team, and in the NE10, he's got 4 touchdowns to his credit, or 3 touchdowns rather to his credit as well. So 3rd and 9 coming. Ball's at the 17-yard line of Merrimack. Warriors in the shotgun. 4 receivers. Little motion on the line. Scarpa's going to throw. Got a man. It's caught and tackled shy of the 25-yard line, short of first down yardage. Demers, and there's a flag on the play.
Assumption jumped on the right side.
They were talking to the Merrimack sideline, so.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
It'll be a more manageable 3rd down situation. Did not pick up the first down on the pass, so they take the penalty.
Gordon Krasik, Elijah Riley, Jediah Scott, and Joe Bruno, the defensive line up front, and they will rotate a lot of guys in there. Caleb Silva, Bryce Jacob, Levi Fancher are your linebackers. Active, fast, aggressive.
Silva among the leaders in tackles in the NE10 with 27 coming into today. Here's Scarpa to throw. He's got a man. It's caught over the 25. See where they stop the forward progress. They're going to give him a great spot and a first down. And that was Demers again with his first official catch.
And the defensive backfield, Sean Springs Jr., phenomenal player. Carlin Platel, Andrew Benson and Joe Kim. Joe Kim and Andrew Benson, the leaders back there.
Yeah, good. Benson back for another year. He is a true veteran back there, but 2 longtime starters in that safety position. There's a nice job by Assumption stepping up on the defense. Kyle Contreras comes up. He's one of those backup safety defensive backs that they rotate in, and he makes a nice tackle on the tight end, Dylan Salva. Just a yard on the play.
Contreras, a 4-year starter. Bob Chesney talked about how well he takes care of his body. Probably the most flexible player on the team.
There is the give inside, handoff, nothing there. The and actually forced back by Assumption's defense.
That D-line coached by Mike Pucko, former Holy Name coach, and Bob Chesney Sr. And boy, can they disrupt things up front. They are just physical. They're aggressive. They're flying to the football and getting help there on the outside. That's a good little cleanup hit on the outside by Silva.
Perry was the ball carrier there. So here's another 3rd and long situation for the Warriors. Scarpa in the shotgun. Perry is the tailback. Scarpa to throw. Time, and he fires over the middle. It's intercepted! Intercepted by Benson, who stepped in. And Assumption has their first turnover. The Hounds will take over in good field position after a 12-yard return by Andrew Benson.
Benson picking up his 2nd interception of the season. They stunt with the linebackers and the defensive linemen. They get a little pressure in the face of the quarterback. And when you get pressure in the face of the quarterback, he can't step up. He's throwing this arm on his back leg. Look where he is here. See, he can't step up. He's falling back and he's open. He's not, his shoulder's not closed, so he's opened up, can't get the strength on that. That's a great job by the men up front and then reading the football defensively and jumping on that, Andrew Benson.
It almost developed in slow motion because he couldn't get any power on that ball, and Benson jumped it. Assumption trying to go quickly here, and they moved before the snap. So it'll be a 5-yarder against the Greyhounds.
Ball start. Number 77 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down. For that penalty.
Here's the defensive line. We talked about them and showed you the last time out just how big they are. Led in the middle by Jesse Jones at 320 pounds. And the linebackers is a good group as well, and they're going to be tested tonight. These linebackers, a freshman, sophomore, and a junior, as they try to contend with this speedy and very athletic wide receiver and running back core of the Assumption Greyhounds.
They've sacked the quarterback 11 times coming into today. Here is Monks on the run. Monks is free, and he's inside the 25, taken down deep in the secondary. Inside the 30, rather, in the 25-yard line. It goes Monks. They're going to spot it, let's see, down at the 23.
6'4", 220, and man, Monks can move. You're looking at Santos there. He was the decoy.
He got our guy. They go to Santos this time, and Santos fighting for yards close to the 20, may have gotten a yard. Doug Santos.
You know, Bob Chesney talked about making the right reads, and Mark Monk's getting into a rhythm and making the right reads. That was a beautiful play 2 plays ago. It's the right read. It's that run-pass option. A lot falls on the quarterback. Pre-snap read, post-snap, what's the D-line doing? They're reading that D-end. He had a great read, great fake to Santos, and a first down carry.
Now it's an option to Santos. Santos with room to the outside, inside the 15. He's flung down there. Santos is close to first down yards. He should have it, and it'll be a first down. Brian Carroll brought him down in the secondary.
So here's the option. You're reading the end, number 56. Monks gets him to commit, pitches to Santos early, which is great because it gives him time to make his cut.
Quickly back to Santos. He's inside the 10, about the 7-yard line. Doug Santos played his high school ball at Peabody. He's a great story, hard-working guy. These different groups, the receivers, the running backs, all competitive, as you mentioned, Kev, but they're close. Good bond on this team.
Khalid Exum Strong is in there now.
The new quarterback in there for Assumption. And he takes it on the carry and rumbles into the end zone. That's Cody Williams, who pops in there. Williams, the athletic 3rd quarterback generally, and he goes in for a touchdown.
Wow, he's a junior, 6'3", 200. Hasn't seen a lot of time at all. Saw some time 2 games ago with that 56-0 win over Pace. But it's been Monks and then Toby. But you see that great athleticism that Williams has, 6'3", 200. Good speed.
He went to Monmouth originally and transferred into Assumption. And here's Cole Tracy to attempt the extra point. Just about automatic, and it is 7-0 Assumption first quarter. We're back with more after this. Coming up up this week on the Friday Night Football Frenzy. It's an old-fashioned swiggle showdown as Leicester visits Grafton. Auburn goes on the road taking on Tantascwa. It's the 146 Rumble as Uxbridge travels to battle Millbury. And the mountaintop will be rocking as St. John's visits the Wachusett Mountaineers. The Frenzy on Charter TV3. The Frenzy presented by Bay State Savings Bank, the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia, Worcester State University, and Unibank.
All right, we're going to get another look at this. Here's Cody Williams, the junior, gets a great block on the outside. Kick out block, turns into a seal block. Williams reads it really, really well. That's a good job. Diamante Robinson, the tight end out there, to hold your block and drive your man back into the end zone. That's phenomenal. And then the rest of the offensive line, seal blocks. Everyone hat on hat and holding their block too. Bob Chesney talked about that, holding your block. Don't just hit and release, but hold it and keep driving your man, and that's what made that play work. Everyone held their blocks.
5 plays, 33 yards, a minute 41 on the scoring drive. They kick it away and taken down at the 10-yard line. They fake the reverse. And Merrimack, rambling, still on his feet, is Caleb Holden, who's a freshman from Milford Academy. Pretty good scramble there for Holden as he made something out of nothing. 14 yards on the return, decent field position near the 25 for the Warriors.
DJ Hernandez making the stop on the special teams for Assumption. In a hot day like this too, I think this really favors the Assumption Greyhounds because of what Coach Chesney and his staff have done in bringing in such great talent over the last 4 years. So this is a real deep team, and you see it on special teams. You see it when your third-string quarterback comes in and scores a touchdown.
Scarpa to throw. It's tipped and intercepted. Intercepted. Assumption's going back to the house. And a touchdown. Sean Springs Jr. The ball-hawking defense with their second pick, 32 yards for a touchdown.
Springs gets his second interception of the season. 2 turnovers already created by this Assumption defense. The first one, the offense turns into a touchdown, and this one, Springs does it himself, takes it all the way back for the touchdown. And now if you're Merrimack, you know, they like to throw the ball anyway, but you become one-dimensional really quick when you're down 14-0 with 7:35 to play in the first quarter.
Tracy for the extra point. And very quickly it has become 14-0 Assumption.
Here we're going to get another look at this. With time, steps in to throw. This time it's just it was behind the receiver. He gets a hand on it. Anytime you tip the football, coaches hold their hearts in their throats, and Springs doing a nice job of going to the football. And what this is team defense too, because Springs not giving up. He's flying over to the football. You see all those blue jerseys going to the football. That's team defense. It's not looking over there and saying, well, this guy's got him covered. Everyone's flying to the football. It's thrown behind. It's tipped and picked. They turn it into 7. And now you look at the confidence, and it's a contagious feeling too. Everyone feels like we're making a play. We're dominating now.
This is a Merrimack offense that put up a lot of points against Division I FCS Bryant in their opener. In fact, held a 2-score lead against Bryant early on in that one before the Bulldogs eventually came back to win. It's a high-powered offense that was held in check a week ago because of the turnovers, mainly at Bentley, and Assumption's defense has made the plays early on. And so now to kick it away, Andrew Martorella for Assumption. Drags the left boot into it. It's a good kick. Back at the goal line. This time they do hand it off. A flag flies. This is likely going to come back. Demers appeared to be the ball carrier down there after the handoff.
Tackle the play by Spence.
Check the penalty. It could back Merrimack up inside their 10.
Blocking the back, turn number 10. Half the distance to the goal line. First step.
And that'll put them back close to probably the 5.5 yard line. Tough starting field position. Scarpa has had some time to throw, Kev. They haven't really gotten home to him yet, but Assumption is kind of lying in the weeds back there with their secondary and their linebackers, and they've made some plays.
And when you can rush, they're only rushing 3, 4 guys at times. If you're rushing 3 guys, you got 8 guys back there covering 4 or 5. So it's almost 2 guys per receiver, running back, tight end that go out. So you're in a great position when you can do that, when you don't have to bring your linebackers in order to get pressure.
You mentioned depth. They think they have 3 good defensive lines here. There's the throw to the outside. Caught. That's Justin Mount. Had 13 receptions coming into the game. Not much there. A couple of yards just to get him a little more space. Springs on the tackle.
Yeah, look at Springs' closing on this play. You could see the minute the quarterback, Scarpa, opened his hips to throw, Springs starts closing on the receiver. They right now, ambush is the word that I'm thinking of, because Assumption is ambushing Merrimack right now.
There's the give that's to Villard. Villard is bottled up again. Villard right out to about the 13-yard line, maybe a yard. Not much there. And you see Levi Fancher and company flying to the football. Scarpa finds himself in 3rd and 5 territory again. Deep in his own, near his own end zone. Shotgun for Scarpa. He's going to throw. Heat's coming from Sarkadiah, and that one might be intercepted. No, they say incomplete. Jumping on the football was Carlins Platel, the freshman, and he almost had Assumption's 3rd turnover of the game.
Well, that time the Hounds rushed 5. They blitzed one of the linebackers. Look at Ray Sarkadiah, number 92. Just a bull rush. Pushes the tackle back into Scarpa's face. Makes him move his feet. This is 92 Sarkadiah with already 4 sacks to lead the NE10. Pushing his tackle back into the face of the quarterback. The quarterback's moving, shuffling his feet. And again, has to throw going backwards.
So punting out of his end zone. And a little rugby-style kick, left boot from Resendez, and it'll be Deontay Harris at his 45 with some space. Harris now, with speed, comes back over the 50, and he's tackled there at the 49 of Merrimack. Nice job by Tom Kinton, the senior. Lost his helmet.
You just feel like when Harris has the ball in his hands, you feel like something electric's going to happen. And almost like he was kind of gliding, waiting for that seam, and then pow. He goes in, and every time he touches it, you're waiting for 6. That's how explosive and dangerous he is. One of the things I think, when you look at all 3 phases, what the offense does, what the special teams do, and what the defense does with Assumption, they never let up. They never give the other team a break.
44-yard punt from Resendez. Mark Monk's back in at quarterback after a brief rest for a touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Oxen, the tailback, behind him. 3 receivers to the far side. The give is to Dylan Oxen near side. Oxen behind the blocks. Fights his way down to the 45-yard line.
You know, it's a subtle little move, but Oxen standing first next to Monks, then he sets up behind him almost like an I-back. What it does is shifts the responsibility of the defense. Now the linebackers have to talk because they have to look, responsibility shifts. Now you have the defense communicating right up until the snap count. Puts a lot of pressure on the defense to read the play.
Pick up a 5, 2nd and 5. Here's Monks to throw. Looking downfield, looking for Ashton Grant. And Grant caught it, but he was out of bounds. And he was locked up there with a good defensive back, Damian Wood, who's going to draw the duty of guarding Ashton Grant.
That's tough duty. 6'2", 210 with a phenomenal vertical leap, 37-inch vertical leap. And Bob Chesney talks about just how explosive he is getting up off the ground and going after the ball. Aggressive, catches everything thrown his way.
Shotgun for Monks, 3rd down. Monks will throw. And he finds Deontay Harris. Deontay Harris extends the ball beyond the 40. They're going to not mark it shy of the 40. And he'll be close, but maybe a little bit short, half a football short of a 1st down.
Dylan Oxen had a great block on that play. He actually took 2 guys out with 1 block.
Assumption wasting no time on 4th down. They go right back to Harris. Harris spins out of a tackle. He's got a 1st down and more inside the 30. Out of the 29-yard line, taken down by Brian Carroll, the free safety and leading tackler on this Merrimack team.
Wow, look at Harris. They want to do that quick snap. They do it to Harris. He gets a great block by Deontay. It's just Ashton Grant, rather, with a great block in front of him. And then Deontay Harris is so slippery, so tough. But there's also a strength component there. You know, he got hit 3 different times on that play, and he wasn't going down.
Hey, big play. They didn't waste any time making a decision there. Monks to throw, and all over the receiver. Boykin is interfered with, and they're going to get the penalty there. They were looking for Tyus Boykin, the Worcester guy out of St. Peter Marion.
Tyus Boykin didn't play a year ago. Was a phenomenal player at St. Peter Marion and had a good year here his freshman year.
Number 1 of the defense. It's a spot foul. Ball be put at the foul. Automatic first down.
Well, they call the penalty on Wood, but I looked to be, yeah, it was Damian Wood. Jovan Grant was in the vicinity as well. He had his arm all over Tyus Boykin.
Riding him like a cape.
Here's Monks to throw. Downfield to Grant. End zone and knocked away. Great job by the safety coming over to help. Saved the touchdown. Grant is tied up with
that's
Wood
Brian
there.
Carroll.
Carroll came over.
One of the captains out of Lincoln Sudbury. The safety reading the play, and obviously everyone's going to have an eye on Harris and Grant. And he's just reading Grant. Got over there, giving the cornerback some help. Otherwise, that's 6.
Well, it's a play on the back shoulder of Grant with his size and speed that we have seen in practice executed time and time again to the end zone. In fact, one of the first practices we were at, they hit that for a touchdown this spring. Downfield looking for, it looked like the freshman, Freddie Okito.
Pass intended for Okito.
And incomplete. It'll be 3rd and long for Monks in the offense.
And you know what? Right now, the Merrimack defensive backs are doing a great job, especially man coverage on the outside. This is one of those things, though. We're talking already with 3rd, 4th, 5th receivers coming into the ballgame for Assumption. Second half of this game, don't be surprised to see those defensive backs a step or 2 behind, just because you can only run so fast for so long in this heat.
So here is Monks. Oxen behind him. Oxen gives him a block. He hits a man. It's caught. That's Sam Blake right at the 15. And he's spotted right at the chains. Blake out of Springfield, the local guy.
6'3", 205, running a quick slant. Just uses his body really well against the defender. Gets 1 step inside, and that's all he needs. Seals the defender off.
Here's a 4th and short again, and right back on the line of scrimmage are the Greyhounds. Time ticking. The give is to Oxen. Oxen powers through. He's got a first down inside the 15 to the 13-yard line.
No hesitation. Assumption going for it, never a doubt. Twice in this drive, they've converted 4th downs. And they're just putting a lot. It's a lot of pressure on a defense to hold up. When the tempo is really quick like it is, they're not giving Merrimack a whole heck of a lot of time to sub guys in and out. They're not giving the D a big rest.
Dylan Oxen, a big physical running back. Bob Chesney says he's faster than you think, and he hit the hole quick on that last play to get the Hounds a first down. So on first down, the give is to Oxen to the outside, not a lot of room there. Nice job to the outside. That's Enrique McFarland, the middle linebacker.
Good read by the linebacker, just the eye-opener drill. Oxen favoring that right arm a little bit as the training staff now looking at him. That would be a big loss. He's been dinged up a little bit.
Santos is in there now. Look at this spread formation. Deontay Harris. Harris in space. Oh, he just kind of weaves his way in for 6. Touchdown, Assumption.
Ashton Grant, great one-on-one block here, and it's holding your block. Great block. And what can you say about Deontay Harris? This is the unselfish nature, though, of this team. You have so many great playmakers, and you have the NFL guy, Ashton Grant, who 25 teams have already come to look at this fall in this preseason. And he's out there making the block, unselfish, sticking on his block. It's not just getting out there and standing in space.
Tracy for the extra point. It's a 3-touchdown lead for Assumption. Kev, here are the blocks you're talking about. Look at this. Look at this formation.
Yeah, I love the formation. A bunch on either side. You're only going with a center and 2 guards. You're spreading out the defense. And then again, the block coming from Grant, number 2. Harris is so good. And you got a tackle out there too.
Yeah,
spread out, so you got a tackle and you got a wide receiver. Great seal block. And then you're not going to get one-on-one. You're just not going to tackle Deontay Harris.
College football on Charter TV3, brought to you by the Sullivan Group, the Central Mass Safety Council, Nichols College, Berterra Nissan of Auburn, Holy Cross Athletics, Interstate Batteries, Milford Federal, the Worcester Railers Hockey Club, and by Poochie's.
Harris with his 4th receiving touchdown of the season. This offense seems like they're in rhythm to me.
Yeah, 10-play drive, 50 yards. Assumption, who put up a ton of points against Pace earlier this year, still claim that their offense is struggling a bit. Southern Connecticut held them to 25, but they kick through. Here we go. And a big stick in the middle of the field from the Greyhounds. And flying in to make that tackle was Calvin Milner. 14 yards on the return.
And this is it. This is when you have a deep team. You got a sophomore linebacker, Milner, playing special teams, and just great hit and wrapping the arms and continuing to drive the legs. But that happens because you have recruited great classes and you have such great competition at every position that guys are doing anything they can to get the coach's eye to say, listen, I want to get on the field. I want more time.
Scarpa throwing high, and that one almost intercepted. Springs was the closest to it. Scarpa seems just a little bit out of his element right now. Maybe, you get that sense you might want to press a little bit at this point. He's 3 of 7 for 11 yards in the early going. You're down 3 touchdowns, though. It'd be tough not to start to press a little bit.
Scarpa's a veteran, too. He's a graduate student at Merrimack, transferred over from Bentley.
Assumption showing blitz here. And it's to the outside, a run, and picking up pretty good yardage there was Rodney Sampson, freshman, backup tailback here.
Graciano, the linebacker, on the tackle for Assumption. And the cornerback does his job. Try to turn that running back inside to where the pursuit's coming.
They go with some pace and they pick up a first down running inside. That's Villard this time picking up that first down. Merrimack was 1 of 3 on 3rd down conversions until that play. So now first down. It's their 2nd of the game. Assumption showing blitz. They run right back through the hole, and with speed is Villard. He's inside the Assumption 40 to the 36-yard line, and he's a guy that Bob Chesney said really hurt him a year ago. Number 18 was all over the field, a 28-yard run for Villard.
This is a perfect call against this defense because Assumption's blitzing. They're sending their middle linebacker off to the right side, so there's a hole right there. And Villard just showing some good speed. Your center and your guard just have to take their 2 men and turn them out, and that's what they did.
So first down, first time in Assumption territory. The give is to Villard, pounds it back up the middle. And the ball's out. The ball is out. Let's see, it's recovered by Assumption. The signal is to Assumption. Charles Williams III, CJ with the recovery. They stood up their ball carrier, and the ball just popped out in the wash.
3rd turnover already today in the first quarter from this Assumption defense. You talked about him standing up, and they just poked it out. He came out early, and there's Williams right on top of it. Looks like he's got Kim right next to him.
Williams was looking like he was going after the football, too, in there. I'm not sure if he stripped it and recovered it.
That's good team defense. And again, it's not something that they're practicing every day.
You had
First guy wrap him up, next guy punch it out.
You had to like what Merrimack was doing. Down 3 scores, they were trying to pound the football, do what they do, try to get back into it, not panic. But the turnover puts them could be in an even bigger hole. With Monks on the field again in the offense, 4 receiver set. Monks to throw, downfield. Grant goes up and gets it, and then got it knocked away. And once again, Damian Wood wags the finger at the Assumption bench. He knows the assignment he has today.
Yeah, Wood out as a Zavarian High School does a great job of staying with this because Grant's got such strong hands that if Wood doesn't come in and really start battling and pushing that ball away, Grant's going to have another sensational catch.
Monks just 4 of 10 in the early going. That's a very good play by Wood because Grant probably has the best hands in the region. There's Monks firing, and they tried to get Sam Blake, and Blake could not hang on as he was hit on the low throw by Olan Abner.
Well, it was the right look over the right side. You had 4 wide receivers on the right side. Merrimack was man coverage underneath. They had safeties high, so you were going to have a couple guys that were free. It's just a case of trying to read which guy it is. It's all coming at you really quick.
Assumption 3rd down here, 3rd and 10. They're going to take a timeout. The Hounds actually 0 for 3 on 3rd downs here in the quarter and up 21-0. They have converted 2 4th downs. And it'll be the first timeout of the half for the Greyhounds. College football on Charter TV3, presented by Bay State Savings Bank, the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia, Worcester State University, the Worcester Railers Hockey Club, and by Unibank. There's Mike Volcano in the mix there. He's longtime assistant now, former Algonquin head coach, one of the great characters of the game.
The ultimate T-Hawk, he's phenomenal. Bob Chesney in his 4th season. Tell you, you look at this Assumption program, and in the 9 years before Chesney got here, they won a total of 33 games. In the 4 years he's been here, they've won 36 games. The turnaround's been incredible. He did the same thing at Salve Regina. They hadn't had a year that they were over 500 for the 8 previous years before Chesney took over at Salve. His first year he went 6-4, and they played for the league title the next 2 years. He was only there for 3 years. I mean, he has the ability to turn programs around and do it in a hurry.
He's got a great mix, too, on his staff of young coaches, veteran coaches. Likes that diversity of experience on his staff. And they got it going really well right now. 3rd down and 10, trying to convert their first 3rd down of the quarter of the game. Monks looking downfield, going upstairs. Let's see. It's caught by Sam Blake, and he's got a 1st down.
Great job by Blake, just battling with the defensive back.
Now they're gonna,
and he won the battle on this one. That's a 1st down.
That's clearly the judge on this side is saying move the change.
Yeah.
And on the far side, they're saying no. So now there's some confusion. I think he has the 1st down where he catches the football.
We have a perfect look at it. It's almost right in line with where we are in the broadcast booth. Where he catches the ball, it's a 1st down. When he gets possession now, he gets thrown backwards, but forward progress. Where he catches the ball, it should be a 1st down. And it's a great play by Blake. Again, it's his strong hands.
Yep. They're going to say 4th down here. It's a horrendous spot.
The thing that I don't understand is it was right at the sticks, too.
It's a really bad spot.
Right at the sticks. You could see where Blake caught it.
Phil Robo thinks it's a great spot. I'm telling you, show the replay. He's got the ball past the marker.
I would think Phil wouldn't want them to punt because his son, Sean Turnan,
that's true,
has the records here at Assumption for longest punt in a game, most career punting yardage.
That record will never be broken.
And so you would think Phil would want them to keep going for it and wouldn't want him to punt.
Wallace's 2nd punt of the day, and it is a high spiraling kick. And going to take an Assumption bounce and be down just inside the 15-yard line. 44-yard kick.
That's a great punt. Wallace is doing his job, the coverage team doing their job. Just what a weapon he is. You know, things don't go your way, you don't get a good spot, now you got to punt. and you're looking at, okay, it could be a momentum shifter if Merrimack can get a return. If you get a bad punt, nothing doing. Wallace just hammers one. They're pinned deep in their own end right now. That's a tough spot, though. I mean, if you're a coach on that Assumption side, you're saying we need that's brutal because we want this drive to keep going. We want to wear them down, put up some more points here.
Take it into the second quarter. 28 seconds left here in the first. And here comes Merrimack running the football, and there's not much going this time for Perry. And time should tick away here in the first quarter with the 24th ranked Assumption Greyhounds on top of Merrimack by 3 touchdowns.
Joe Bruno, one of the guys in there on the tackle. He's a captain, leader.
That's the end of the first. Assumption impressive so far on top of Merrimack, 21-0.
Hockey is coming. Pro hockey is back in Worcester. The Worcester Railers Hockey Club hit the ice October 14th at the DCU Center. Become a member today for off-the-rails excitement. Hockey is coming. Full season, mini plans, and group tickets are on sale now. Call 508-365-1750 and visit railershc.com. All aboard!
Providing our customers with the highest level of quality, service, and value. Poochie's Fine Jewelry, 205 West Boylston Street in West Boylston.
Welcome back. Andy Lacombe, Kevin Shea, Phil Robo, our statistician, Brady Shea, our spotter. We got a whole crew up here at Assumption on a beautiful day, a warm second day of fall in Worcester. And Assumption is keeping it hot with a 21-0 lead.
Yeah, great crowd too. Another thing that Assumption has done with this Bob Chesney era is they've broken records year after year with attendance. I think already they've 5 or 6 times they've broken their own record for single game attendance, and they just keep going. It's become a happening here now. They have the tailgating, they have a tailgate lot. So the families and the parents come here. They all tailgate a few hours before the game. For the students, it's a great scene, a great atmosphere.
Second down, long coming for Scarpa, who's rolling and looking to throw on the first play of the second quarter, and it's incomplete, out of bounds.
I remember the old days. It was Phil Robo with a couple bags of Wise chips in the parking lot by himself, and that was the tailgating scene. It has changed immensely since then. It's like a big college game day atmosphere here now, and you look around the stadium, they're ringing the field.
Sean Turnan's punting didn't draw a lot of fans out, apparently, but he is still a record holder and a former opponent of mine in high school basketball.
Great athlete in his day.
Third and long.
Third down and 9 to 17.
For Scarpa and the Warriors offense. Here comes the pressure from Assumption. They force Scarpa out of the pocket, firing, and no, incomplete. Looking for Mount, and he was well covered, and the pressure of the Greyhounds maybe forced Scarpa to throw a little bit more uncomfortably there.
Yeah, this is just great defense from Assumption. They're rushing 4 linemen and getting pressure. Matthias Smith, a redshirt freshman, getting some pressure there, and then Josh Santandria is the man who wrapped up the quarterback, Scarpa.
Resendez to kick, steps in, it's blocked! It is blocked and recovered by Assumption, and down inside the 5-yard line. It's recovered by Chris Carabao, the defensive back, and it was blocked in the bottom of the pile. Punting into the wind, and the Greyhounds go after it and get it. I think it was number 19 that got it. 19. Keelan Thomas going down and getting it. Sophomore defensive back out of the Bronx. Well, here you go, Kev.
That defense, the special teams, everyone contributing. 3 turnovers on defense, now a blocked punt.
Here's the short yardage or inside the red zone team with the quarterback, Cody Williams. And he's got Khalid Exum Strong in the backfield with him, and get a whistle. And they took too much time, did Assumption. This may be new this week with Williams being kind of like the red zone QB here.
Yeah. Williams isn't going to be happy because he just lost his shot there. They took too much time.
Yeah, he comes off the field. Monks is back in there. Khalid Exum Strong, the sophomore out of Connecticut, is the tailback. Third one we've seen here. Oxen did go down with a little bit of an injury. He's on the far end of the field with his helmet off. The give is, no, it is Monks. Great fake on the ball, and he's going in for a touchdown.
Wow. That's a veteran right there. He's been a starter for 3 years. 3 years ago is when he came on as a starter and started all of last year and then this year. But that's a veteran move of just selling the fake, having the poise and patience to hold it, let that defense kind of commit, and then dancing into the end zone.
Tracy to attempt the extra point.
4 different players have scored for Assumption already today.
The kick is up, and it is good. It's 28-0 Assumption. The blitz is on in Worcester.
Hi, I'm Mike Demers, General Sales Manager here at Proterra Nissan in Auburn. We'll give you the best price and leave you happy every single time.
Our local team is ready to provide you with an unparalleled customer experience.
The 2017 Nissan Rogue, no money down, $19,783. The Nissan Rogue Sport, no money down, $21,500.
I want to invite you to come down and experience the #1 Nissan dealership for sales, service, and parts in Central New England.
Proterra Nissan, Route 20, Auburn, Massachusetts.
Let's be honest, you don't see Grandma nearly enough. Which means the dead car battery you've spent the morning dealing with has robbed her of precious grandkid time. It's unfortunate, sure, but it's not like she's going to write you out of her will or anything. Right? When you need to be there, you need an Interstate. The car battery auto techs prefer.
Interstate All Battery Center. Come by 139 Washington Street in Auburn.
Read pass option, Kev. There's
unbelievable. Yeah, it's just a great fake. You're selling the fake to Strong, and everyone's flowing to the left, including the linebackers, the defensive end, and that's what you're reading. Monks is reading the defensive end. The defensive end is collapsing down. Once he sees him take that step down, he pulls the ball and goes around the end.
Run pass, rather, and here's the kick. And driven back to the goal line. Holden's coming out, and he's got room. He's over the 30. Good return. Caleb Holden gives Merrimack decent field position at the 33-yard line. That's a 32-yard return for Holden.
And the running back and there has to be a lot of chemistry between the running back and the quarterback with these run pass options, because the quarterback's going to put it in the running back's stomach, you know, and mesh with him, and then either keep it there, ride with him, or pull it out. So you gotta have pretty good chemistry so that you don't fumble that and you don't run into each other. Exum Strong working very well with Monks.
Now Monks, it was his second rushing touchdown. Here's Scarpa. Oh, and he's drilled, and it's a fumble picked up by the Hounds. And Assumption has another turnover. Benson recovered the fumble. Looked like Joe Kim put the wood down to the ball carrier.
The Assumption defense, like guided missiles right now, just zeroing in on these Merrimack receivers and runners. Just a huge hit by Kim. Pokes the ball out. Take another look here. Here's Kim. Again, right when he sees the quarterback open his hips. Perfect hit. Helmet through the ball.
Kim says, what time is it?
Missile time.
It's missile time in a different way.
And he just zeroed right in on him, hammers him, and then again, it's getting 5-6 hats to the football because the fumble comes out, but Assumption's got 5-6 guys right there thinking scoop and score.
So first down for Assumption at the 25. Khalid Exum Strong with the ball, and he's fighting through inside the 15. still on his feet and just battling for a first down. Man, he was with Jason Rice, and the two of them were just throwing guys around and trying to pick up more yards.
Mike Volcano really likes Exum Strong.
Now Monks to the end zone to Grant, goes up, and incomplete. Damian Wood thought he came away with it. Damian Wood has been he's been really good on Ashton Grant.
That is a really good battle going on all game long. Wood and Grant.
Grant really thinks he had it. You look at him. He may have taken that one away. Second
on the naked
down.
eye, it looked like he had it.
Exum Strong with it. And there's not much there. Corralled quickly, Samuel Francois.
Ball carrier.
A defensive lineman for Merrimack, big number 7 in the middle of the screen, the middle of that defense, rather. There's Exum Strong.
He's a beast. Our Sparta was talking about him, Brady Shea, when they were walking off the field, how big 7 was. He's the tough dude to move in there as well. 6'3" and 330.
Creative director Riley Shea has now joined the broadcast team. He's got the best hair of the group. Here's Monks throwing. Ashton Grant caught. Touchdown. That time they hit him on the back shoulder, and Grant leans in for 6.
And they're throwing away from Damian Wood, too. It's a great read by Monks. He knows where Wood is. Wood's clearly the best defensive back, the best corner cover man that Merrimack has. You got Grant on someone else. Perfect. As you said, it's a back shoulder. The defensive back is still going forward, and Grant just stops. Boom. On a dime, you got another touchdown. And this kitty bar the door, because Assumption is just storming the field right now on the scoreboard as well.
35-0, Assumption.
Doors. Every door is different. Every door unique. And each one tells a story. Open a door at Unibank and you'll find a unique place. A bank where we listen to you and find answers. All to help you write your unique success story. Welcome to the new Unibank. Please, after you. Unibank. Bank different. Bank unique. Member FDIC. Member DIF. Equal housing lender.
Sullivan Group is an insurance and risk management services firm based in Worcester for over 60 years.
Our company values? Our family values.
Committed to our clients and finding them the best solutions.
Committed to being independent.
Committed to our community.
We live here, we work here, we volunteer here.
The Sullivan Insurance Group.
Committed to excellence.
Welcome back. Assumption to kick off after Ashton Grant's second touchdown of his season. Martorello, the left-footed kicker. Oh, God. Set to go. Good high kick. Going to carry back into the end zone. Demers is there. He's going to put a knee down. Here's the score.
There you go. Monks, run pass, just play fake, back shoulder to Grant, and Grant just goes up and gets it. Grant gets off the line, too, better than any receiver. And Bob Chesney says better than any receiver in the nation. In the FCS level, that Grant gets off the line. He does so right here. Defensive back is trying to catch up, but when you do that, your head's down, you're chasing. Grant just reads the play, and he doesn't give it away. If Grant stops early, the defensive back may have a shot at recovering and getting a hand in there, but he waits, and then boom, at the last minute turns, snatches it for 6.
And here's Villard on the first down carry for a couple. No disrespect to Robert Hulse, who's the other cornerback for Merrimack. It was just a pretty good change of pace, as you mentioned, that Monks was able to recognize and find Grant.
Now this Assumption defense really right now can just pin their ears back. Joe Kim had that forced fumble the last time that Merrimack had the ball.
Low snap, give is to Villard, not much there, kind of leaning down to the 30-yard line, pickup of 2.
You go into a game, and every team has a game plan, every offensive coordinator or offense says this is what we want to do. when you're down 35-0 with 12:15 remaining in the first half, the game plan kind of goes out the window, and you're forced to become one-dimensional, a throwing team.
Score-wise, this is what Assumption did to Pace. Merrimack is a team with maybe a little bit more going for them than Pace right now. Pressure coming, and they get to him for the first time. Sarkadaya there.
Wow. They are coming with their ears pinned back. Sarkadaya's there. Jalen Johnson, 6'6", 260. Johnson's been a disruptive force here. Here's Sarkadaya, number 92. It's just a straight bull rush. It's not like Howie Long. Just push your guy straight back. Johnson collapsing on the other side.
They met at the ball.
This is fun to watch. If you're an Assumption fan, this is fun to watch the way that they're playing.
Probably a half sack for Sarkadaya. It's 4.5 now for him in the early going. This punt is well out of bounds, and it's going to give Assumption good field position to the 45 with 11:07 left here in the first half, a 27-yard kick. But we talked to Bob Chesney this week, Kev. You talked to him. I think you talk to him every day. But, we
chat often.
We've had some conversations with him. He didn't give any predictions. He didn't say how he thought they were going to do today. But just how he was talking, you know how much confidence he has in his team going up against the Merrimack team that has put up a lot of points and a lot of offense in the last 3 weeks.
Well, I think he's really enjoying, too. One of the things you get is when you talk to him, he enjoys this team. He likes the players. He likes the coaches. You know, there's a great chemistry with them, and there's a positive attitude that permeates through the entire program.
Monks is going to throw. He's got Grant. Grant beyond the defense. Stretching to the end zone. He scored. Touchdown.
Wow. When it rains, it pours. It is pouring right now on the Merrimack Warriors.
Hey, don't hold back. I mean, my goodness, 55 yards on the throw and catch. And Grant, patty cake with Sam Blake. But man, you saw how good, you talk about his route running, talk about his speed.
Tracy to kick, Toby is the holder.
And Tracy drills the extra point. It's 42-0, folks, and there's still 11 minutes left in the first half.
Providing our customers with the highest level of quality, service, and value. Poochie's Fine Jewelry, 205 West Boylston Street in West Boylston. Looking for a local lender you can trust? Come to Milford Federal. Our great rates, low closing costs, and personalized customer service have made us your family financial center for over 130 years. Apply online or visit us at one of our branches today.
Charter TV3 and UMass Memorial Healthcare have teamed up to bring you the latest news and trends in healthcare. Health Watch, presented by UMass Memorial Healthcare, brings you the healthcare topics that are important to you. From stroke prevention to allergies, skincare to sports injury prevention, and nutrition to pregnancy, Health Watch at UMass Memorial Healthcare informs you on the issues that affect you on a daily basis. Health Watch on Charter TV3. For extended interviews with UMass Memorial Healthcare experts, log on to our website.
All right, so here's Mark Monks. His last 2 passes have been to Ashton Grant, both for touchdowns. Monks does a great job of putting a lot of air under this and letting Grant just run under it. He beats his man off the line. He's so good at that. When you squat 470, you bench 310, your vertical is 37, you're going to be tough to jam at the line of scrimmage. Grant gets beyond the cornerback and just outruns him by about 4 or 5 strides, and a beautiful ball from Monk.
Demers on the return for Merrimack. Last 2 touchdowns, both to Grant, both against Hulse as the defensive back, as Wood was on the other side. Damian Wood has done a great job here today. But, you know, when you have Ashton Grant, Deontay Harris, Sam Blake, Tyus Boykin, you have a lot of guys that can go past you and stretch the field. So it's, you know, you need obviously more than 1, 2, 3 defensive cornerbacks that can play, that can get back there and cover these guys. They really force you and stretch out your defense when they have it going, the Assumption offense. So here's Scarpa in the shotgun. And it's a handoff up the middle, Rodney Sampson.
This defensive line's playing well. They are playing well. Bob Chesney says, we watched that 30 for 30 on the University of Miami football team, and in that he said Michael Irvin talks about how our hardest days were Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of practice. Game day for us Saturday afternoon, that was easy because we were competing against each other those Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and those were tougher than the games. That's what they want their program to be like.
Scarpa flushed out. Is going to just have to get rid of this one as he had Joe Bruno bearing in on him and Sarkadiah on the other side of him. This is a very deep defensive line, but I look to the near side. Elijah Riley, their starting defensive tackle, has got the helmet off and he's on crutches. So they got dinged up a little bit at some point here in the first half. Riley had a sack and a safety last week against Southern Connecticut.
But again, now that just means an opportunity for someone else, and they got guys chomping at the bit to get their opportunity and prove that they belong in there. Scarbo underneath has his man for a first down.
Yep, and right at the 30-yard line.
Number 86, Eder.
That is Corey Eder, or Ryan Eder rather, a senior.
He's down on his knee, no tackle credited to the 30-yard line, 11-yard pickup. First down and 10 Warriors at their 30.
So first down for Merrimack, under 10 minutes here in the first half. Scarpa hands it off. Outside Villard, Villard, stiff arm. Able to pick up a bunch of yards after that. Now it's 6 or 7 after the stiff arm.
Yeah, Villard's a tough guy to bring down in the open field. 6'1", 220 pounds, and this is an old school Walter Payton stiff arm. Just taking the defensive back and knocking him off.
Has 5 touchdowns coming into the day. 3 on the ground, 2 through the air. Scarpa to throw. Everything's collapsing on him. He's being chased. Flag flies. They do complete the pass. It was the first completion out to Sebastian Lucas, the conference's leading receiver. It will probably come back.
I think this is a hold.
Holding, offense number 78, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, repeat second down.
All right, we'll get another look at this. Omar Graciano's 56 at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
he's just, the guy wrapped him up. He had him right around the neck.
It's like a Greco-Roman wrestling move there. And how about that, though? Sebastian Lucas doesn't have a catch. He came in with a featured guy, 22 receptions, 452 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And though there is experience in the safeties, the corners are relatively young. They lost 2 great corners to graduation, did Assumption, this past spring. Scarpa to throw. Caught and quickly dragged down. Andrew Benson doing a nice job grabbing the receiver, the ball carrier, immediately and getting to him quickly. That was Detondo. He's a freshman, so a lot of new faces in there. Matt Detondo.
Great recognition by Benson, though. He reads the play from his safety position and comes flying up to meet him right when he has that reception, right when he's turning upfield.
3rd and long. Call it 13 for Merrimack. Scarpa to throw. Here comes the heat. Firing and complete this time. That's Lucas. But he's short by about 1.5 yards of the first down. First completion to Sebastian Lucas on the afternoon. And the punting unit is coming out for Merrimack.
8-yard line, pickup of 9.
Yeah, it's a good job. closing on the football by Springs, making a sure-handed tackle.
Assumption blocked the last punt effort by Resendez. And they're showing like they're coming after this one. They'll bring it back a little bit, dial it back for the return. High kick. Deontay Harris at his 19. Harris with a lot of room, but he's got a flag behind him. Huge block. Another flag flies.
Multiple flags.
There's going to be a bunch. They're going to be against Assumption. 43-yard kick. Some of them may be warranted as well.
Merrimack players down. He never saw Chris Caraballo coming, and Caraballo just really tattooed him.
Yeah, that looks to be the long snapper, J.J. Smith, who's down. Long snappers get down there quick, and he got hit hard. A couple of blocks
This
in the
was
back.
set up as a return. There's a block in the back already called, and here's the one that just, that was a helmet-to-helmet shot that's going to,
Yeah,
they'll probably throw the flag on that one.
It wasn't, yeah, that was more the helmet-to-helmet. Then there's the block in the back before, which we didn't catch.
Yep.
Please visit our concession
But Assumption's going to be backed up here, and right now
the
the
south end zone.
concern is with the long snapper J.J. Smith, as he is tended to after taking that shot.
Let's see. He's getting up now.
He'll go through the concussion protocol, and you know, now they'll have to examine him on the far sideline. But he took a wicked shot as the officials still try to sort out
Up on his feet.
what they're going to call here. Good to see Smith up.
Smith from Merrimack.
Yeah, 3 different flags, so we'll see what they throw out there, the officials. But good to see the Merrimack player walking off.
His head coach bringing him off there. Coach Curran in his 5th season. Officials are taking a long time to sort this out.
Trying to get the mic on. Well,
Nope.
Just make the call. We'll go old school with the hand signals.
Block in the back against Assumption. And then that's the personal foul for the head-to-head
Block in the
contact.
back is one. Personal foul is the other penalty, both called on Assumption.
So it's going to march Assumption probably back inside their 10. When you add everything up, it almost becomes kind of a half the distance penalty. Assumption will be backed up. Their offense will have a little bit of challenge ahead of them. They've had some short fields here to work with, thanks to that defense. This time they'll start at their 10-yard line.
Paul McGonigal, the offensive coordinator, giving the play to his troops.
First down and 10 at their 10.
Monk's back out there with Doug Santos. You know, this is a situation, Kev, where we'll likely see Toby and maybe Williams in the second half.
Yeah, you would think so.
Other quarterbacks saw Toby in the second half of the Pace game.
Threw a great touchdown pass.
And the give is to Santos. Santos powering through.
Ball carrier
Picking up some
Santos.
tough yardage, couple yards there
Back on play
in the
by
middle.
number 7, Francois.
Francois in on the tackle, the big guy, number 7.
You see the bones on the back of those helmets. This is new this
Pick up
year
a
for
three, moves the ball to
Assumption. They got those
13-yard
helmet
line,
stickers. They're
second down
bones.
and
They use the
7
same
for
criteria that Ohio State does for the Buckeyes. We'll tell you about what the bones mean throughout the broadcast here.
Second down. It's Monks keeping it. Monks takes a shot.
Monks is the ball
Hangs
carrier.
onto the football, and he's over the 15-yard line for a couple more. Yeah, they have blue bones and black bones on their helmets.
And platinum.
And platinum. But
Platinum
only
as
one
well.
only one has gone platinum.
Yep. Blue is for on-the-field game day stuff. Black Bones is for league stuff, player of the week stuff. And then the Platinums is for a GPA 87 or better and over 3 hours of community service. So they're looking at the whole package
Ashton
here.
Grant right there has a platinum bone. You just saw it. There's the throw out to Santos. He's got room in a first down, and he's knocked out of bounds over the 30 by Carroll and company.
You got a nice block from Deontay Harris, too, after the catch. Santos makes the catch here. Number 1 is Deontay Harris. Watch him peel back right here and get a little shot in on the cornerback, and then Santos has a little more time to give the shake and bake.
Quickly back, they go to Deontay Harris to the far side. Harris wiggles to the outside and is able to pick up some yardage. It looked like he was going to be stopped for a loss.
Just across the 35-yard
But that almost
line.
seems to be not a reality. Deontay Harris can't be. I mean, he's just so quick.
Yeah,
that's great body control.
3, second down and 7.
There's Monks. The give is to Santos. Santos to the outside, tripped up in the backfield, still fighting, but he's going to be stopped for a loss. Right on top of the play there, Jesse Jones.
Finished off on the play.
I'll tell you what, they spread the defense out so well with these quick hitters to the wide receivers, almost like a little screen on the outside, but a quick one. And then so it's designed, you're just going to start getting the linebackers to leak out to the side, and then you can run the ball between the tackles with guys like Santos and Oxen, and if those linebackers leak early, they're going to get gouged up the middle.
Top of the screen, Grant has a good matchup. Here's Monks, he's going the other way, over the middle, Deontay Harris, he's gone. He's going to go the distance, cruising to the end zone. Harris for the touchdown, and a penalty flag flies because he slowed down, apparently.
Well, the officials just don't want this, any kind of chippiness, I think, to really erupt on this. Assumption will take this penalty. It's a beautiful read by Monks, and Harris just runs away from the safety. Harris is matched up man-to-man with the safety. He just flat out runs by him.
You have to gauge intent when you call a penalty like that. 66-yard touchdown.
Of the offense, 15-yard penalty from the 1-yard line, first and 10.
You have to gauge intent. Kev, I think you're right. There was no Merrimack players around him, by the way, when he did that.
Now that is new. That's new, where they take the touchdown off the board and say it's from the 1-yard line, a 15-yard penalty. So it's first down and goal from the 16.
Well,
now that's new to me.
That's new to everybody. A lot of confusion.
If you're going
in
to
the
call
press
a guy
box.
for slowing down, you got to at least let him finish the play first.
We're going to ignore the touchdown signal. That's going to not be a touchdown.
So no score for Deontay Harris. This is a strange call. There was not a direct taunt to anyone. You can understand why he called or could have called it, but this is strange. There was a play. Sean Grady in the truck mentions it in high school. It happened in a playoff game a few years ago in Massachusetts, where someone was celebrating long before they scored and they took it off the board. Here's Exum Strong. Penalty flags fly. 2 penalty flags fly.
Flag on the play.
I'd love to see that one, a replay of the very end of that, though, just to see what, as you said, it wasn't turned around, pointed at anyone.
You have to gauge intent. He slows down, yes. Up here, you could say, all right, he's cruising in, but you have to gauge. You have to gauge the intent of the player.
Right.
You have to be judge and jury right there. The referee made the call.
If you're 15 yards ahead of the defense and you're at the 5-yard line, you're going to ease up. You're not going to sprint through the back of the end zone because you don't have to.
There was no group celebration. There was no direct pointing or taunting of the player, but taunting was judged by the official. Took a touchdown off the board. And here's Monks. Lost the football. Still loose. And recovered by Merrimack and going the other way. The big fella, Avery. Down to the 41-yard line, Avery Taylor. Flags fly, so let's see if this comes back, or maybe someone wasn't running as fast.
This is going to really get the Assumption coaching staff up right now, and Bob Chesney's hot right now. He's fired up right now.
Flag on the play.
Well, it was close, and you know, it appears Monks lost the ball before his knee hit.
We have a block in the back by the defense. 10-yard penalty from the spot. It's going to be first down, Merrimack.
Let's see.
All right, let's take a look at the fumble here. It's like a cross buck trap, and we talked about the mesh point with the quarterback and the receiver.
Did he have control of the ball when he
was his
fell
knee down
on the ball?
To me, it looked like his knee was down. There's the block in the back, but it looked like his knee was down before he lost the football. He's down on the ground. There's an offensive face mask in there too.
Yeah.
But the knee was down.
First down and 10, Merrimack.
No replay in Division II.
32-yard line.
This first half is already long enough. Here's Scarpa. Here comes Sarkadiah. Oh, man, Scarpa just got bundled, and it's incomplete. He got crumpled from a couple different ends.
That may get him a bone. When they go over film, that may get Sarkadiah a bone because you want to turn the momentum around. You had a touchdown taken off the board. Then you lose a fumble, and all of a sudden momentum's kind of shifting. Even though you're up 42-0, you're in control of the game, but you want to make sure you get your foot firmly back on the gas pedal. Sarkadiah just did that with that hit.
2nd and 10 for Merrimack. Scarpa, tough kid, just got crushed, and he's back up. He's firing. He's got a completion. Demers to the 40, fighting his way out of bounds. A little more than 8 on the play for Cody Demers, who is the 2nd leading receiver on this team, coming in.
Now the defense just stand up. It's a tough position to be when you're a cornerback out there, and wide receiver, running back's got to head his team, and you got to break down and sink your hips and make sure you don't get juked. And a lot of times you're kind of catching instead of delivering the blow.
I think Merrimack moved. They did.
75 for the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Some injuries on this defensive line in that Elijah Riley has not returned, but 2, 3, they're almost 3 waves deep of defensive linemen for Coach Pucko and Coach Senior, as Bob Chesney calls their coaches.
Bob's father coached him when he was in high school.
3rd and long here. Here come the Hounds, and that one behind Demers, and Scarpa maybe thinking about the pressure coming. That time Demers had fallen down.
Yeah, they threw a safety blitz in there too, so Assumption bringing some extra pressure there right up in the face of Scarpa.
Assumption defense holds
Scarpa
after the turnover.
Things over with his coaching staff, and they'll try to see what they, kind of decipher what's happened here in the first half during the halftime break, and see if they can't get some momentum going in the second half.
And number 1, Harris.
Timeout taken.
Assumption setting up a return here too. And one of the things that this Merrimack punt team, a lot of times what they'll do is kind of lay back. They won't go where Assumption sends 3 gunners down there. They won't go all out. We'll take a timeout and be back with more from Assumption with the Greyhounds up 42-0.
The Holy Cross football team earned its first national ranking since 2010 after knocking off the #9 University of New Hampshire Wildcats at Fitton Field last Saturday. The Crusaders were led by standout 5th-year quarterback Peter Puyos, who threw for 367 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Rolling to his right, fires to the end zone, touchdown! Holy Cross!
Don't miss any of the action when the Crusaders return home to Worcester on Saturday, September 30th for homecoming.
It's usually one of the highest attended games of the year, and this year we play a league opponent, so it has major championship implications as well.
Fans can enjoy the affordable family fun for as little as $15. For more information or to secure your seats, visit goholycross.com/tickets or call 1-844-GO-CROSS.
We're back in the punt in progress is away from Deontay Harris and out of bounds at the 33-yard line, where Assumption takes over with 3 minutes, 4 seconds left in the first half. Assumption up 42-0. It could be even greater. Could have been 49-0. They had a touchdown taken off the board in their last series.
3:04 to play in the first half. I don't think Assumption's going to let up.
No,
they feel like they got robbed of a TD. I think they want it back.
I think the offense still may be a little bit angry.
I would be. You know how hard it is to score touchdowns in college football, and you get one taken back like that on a beautiful play?
Monk's throwing. He was looking for Harris, incomplete. You mentioned the bones, and we briefly talked about it. Ashton Grant has a platinum bone. We saw it briefly on the back of his helmet. He's got a platinum bone because of the community service that he does. This is a guy getting looked at by the NFL. He's the top receiver, returning really in the NE10. He does community service. He works with Team Impact. Jan, the young boy who Assumption works with, and Ashton Grant does a lot with him. Took him to the Team Impact dinner and banquet this past spring. Just got a high grade on his stats exam, from what I can tell on social media, and just joined Twitter.
Well, that's the one thing that I think is great, and Coach Chesney talks about what a unique kid Grant is. He's not on Facebook. He's not on Snapchat. He just joined Twitter a week ago. He's not into all that. He's just a phenomenal, gives tours in the summer, was one of the student ambassadors, so gave campus tours to prospective students. You think of that great poem, If, by Rudyard Kipling, to walk with kings and the common man and be the same person. That's who Ashton Grant is.
Wow. Shea bringing it here. Rudyard Kipling. Timeout on the field, we take it with him.
I'm District Attorney Joe Worley, and I'm proud to partner with Charter Communications with our pledge to help raise awareness that bullying should not be tolerated. From local school students, here is our message.
Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it, don't forward it. Think twice what you type.
We need to foster safe environments for students in their schools and their communities. Join the anti-bully crusade, take a stand to lend a hand, don't be a bully.
Presented by the law offices of Joseph J. Corriglia.
All right, we are back. Assumption looking at a 1st and 10, 2:25 still left here in the first half. The Hounds are up 42-0 with the Nobel laureate Kevin Shea. I'm Andy Lacombe. Glad you're with us on a warm afternoon in Worcester. Monks barks out the signs, going to throw. Pressure coming. He ditches it off. It's to Santos. Santos with room to run inside the 40. Still on his feet, cuts back inside the 30-yard line. Kev, when Bob Chesney talked about Doug Santos' ability, he said explosive. That was over and over again. And strong, but explosive runner.
You see it here, and Monk's just such a smart play. You know when to check down. Looks downfield, checks it down. Big first down. They're up and throwing again. And here's another quick hitter to Grant.
Behind Sam Blake's block for a few. Ashton Grant, the student ambassador that we talked about. Doing well in stats. Keep it up, Ashton.
5-yard pickup, moves ball to the 24-yard line.
He's a credit to the program, and Bob kept saying that over and over again. Just a credit to the program. Merrimack player down.
He's kind of a throwback, too, to not be on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook.
I know.
Joins Twitter. I think you have to kind of be on Twitter now to market yourself a little bit if you're going to get looks from the NFL. So,
well, even professors will make you go on Twitter now. There are classes at Assumption that are on Twitter. What's the name of your class?
The AC311.
The AC311. Andy's a professor here at Assumption, and their class is on Twitter. So it's probably he went on there for an academic reason.
Yeah, it's possible. We've got a football player in our class, and I had Sam Blake last year as a substitute professor. We're taking another break. Assumption on top, 42-0. Oh, wait, we're not going to take a break.
You have been joked.
Yep.
A little RPO.
You know what? We took a run-pass option there. I was
break.
trying to run, but a timeout was called.
So 1:51 to play in the first half. 42-0 Assumption. It has been all Greyhounds from the start here. A couple interceptions early. The first one, Assumption, their offense turns it into 6. The second one's a pick 6, and then it goes from there. Block punt, fumble recoveries, and believe it or not, Assumption had a touchdown taken away in this game.
Monks, little juke going downfield. The Sam Blake for the touchdown. Blake scores it, and now a penalty flag flies after the touchdown.
They're working on Brian Carroll a lot, the defensive back out of Sudbury. Out of the Dual County League. 3 members of the DCL on this defense for Merrimack. There's just a little hitch and go. The safety trying to get over there, but I think the safety bit on this too because his angle of pursuit was a little shallow.
Well,
Bob Chesney wants an explanation.
It was a great ball and a nice little fake from Monks, and he delivered it. And I don't know, is the penalty because he jumped into another player? Because
unsportsmanlike, but the touchdown counts.
Yeah.
This time the touchdown counts.
Unsportsmanlike, number 5 for the offense. After the score, touchdown is good. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Number 5 is Anthony Anisimov.
I didn't see Anthony out on the field, so I think they may have called that one on Blake. Now, I don't know, maybe something was said, but you know, I think you can jump into the arms of your lineman still without being
You
called
ought
a
to be
penalty.
able to at least get excited about scoring a touchdown.
Kick is up, kick is good. 49-0 Assumption.
In Worcester. The Worcester Railers Hockey Club hit the ice October 14th at the DCU Center. Become a member today for off-the-rails excitement. Hockey is coming. Full season, mini plans, and group tickets are on sale now. Call 508-365-1750 and visit RailersHC.com. All aboard!
Bay State Savings Bank brings you Kasasa. What's Kasasa? It's a catchy word for earning cash that just might make you want to dance. Get paid for doing simple things you do anyway. That's free Kasasa checking.
Ask for Kasasa by name at Bay State Savings Bank, proud sponsor of the Friday Night Football Frenzy.
Monks, to say he wasn't in rhythm, I don't know. He is certainly in rhythm right now with all of his receivers. Sam Blake was a little hitch and go. Safety was late getting over there. Monks just stands in, delivers a perfect ball. Right in stride to Blake. Blake goes in. High fives a fan, so there's nothing wrong there. I don't know. We don't know what the celebration was or what the cause for the penalty was, but in terms of execution of the play, beautiful. Beautiful ball, beautiful route.
Martorella kicks it away. Demers at his 15. Demers, oh, he gets a blow delivered to him right at the 29-yard line. Mac Nakanshu, the St. John's product.
I love it. We covered this kid in high school. I interviewed him after the Thanksgiving Day game a couple years ago. Look at Nakanshu. Heat-seeking missile. Right on the hip. You get him by the hip, you own him. Nakanshu is fired up. Calvin Milner, too, number 45. Just decleated one kid, too, that was trying to block him.
So they give out a Hammer Award for the big hit. Milner had a big one on a special teams play earlier. Mac just had one there. There have been some hits here today. But that's part of the atmosphere they have here.
Play that film back.
There's the catch out to Mount. Mount's got some room to the outside, and now it's Benson fighting off a stiff arm and dragging him out of bounds, but not after a big gainer from Justin Mount. Big, tall receiver. 3 touchdowns already this season.
6'3", 220. That's a good tackle
26 yards
by
pickup.
Benson.
Football back is a 45-yard
Benson
line.
Mount's a big kid,
Greyhounds,
6'3",
first down and 10
220. He's
Merrimack.
basically like a tight end size playing wide receiver.
Scarpa to throw, and quick little dumper over to Mount. Mount has some room, middle of the field. He's down close to the 30, 31-yard line.
Well-designed play. You got some zone coverage, and the linebackers getting back, and Mount just runs a little scrape route underneath.
31-yard line, 14-yard pickup. Again, first down and 10 Merrimack.
So here's Scarpa. Firing and looking to fire, rather. And Bruno rushed him out of the pocket, and then they have to just kind of flip that one away.
Scarpa throws that ball out of bounds.
That's just good determination by Bruno. Good rush by Bruno. Forcing Scarpa to move his feet and throw this ball before he wanted to.
Assumption has a couple different bodies in there as they work some guys through, and Stephon Hill's in there, number 20, a junior defensive back out of Baltimore.
Yeah,
he's almost in a linebacker type position. Scarpa firing and complete. Demers. He just got inside of Contreras. It's a first down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. 49 seconds left here in the first half.
Scarpa's finding a little rhythm here on this drive. Delivers a nice ball on that play.
First down and 10 Merrimack.
You know Assumption wants to keep him off the board here in the first half. Merrimack desperately needing something here. Some sort of spark. Scarpa throwing. Complete. That's O'Reilly, and O'Reilly dragged down. 25 seconds left. He's stopped by Springs on the play. Devin O'Reilly came in with 9 receptions for 100 yards.
Nice tackle by Springs. This entire defense, in particular this secondary too, doing a really nice job open field tackles. We'll take a quick timeout. 25 seconds remaining. Assumption trying to keep that 0 up on the board.
In Worcester. The Worcester Railers Hockey Club hit the ice October 14th at the DCU Center. Become a member today for off-the-rails excitement. Hockey is coming. Full season, mini plans, and group tickets are on sale now. Call 508-365-1750 and visit railershc.com. All aboard!
Bay State Savings Bank brings you Kasasa. What's Kasasa? It's a catchy word for earning cash that just might make you want to dance.
All right, Merrimack Assumption 49-0 right now, but the Hounds trying to keep that 0 on the board, and the Warriors are knocking on the door.
Be a 2nd and 3, balls at the 9-yard line. Scarpa and Villard are in the backfield.
2nd at the 9-yard line.
3 receivers to the far side for Merrimack.
Two tight end formation here, actually an extra tackle.
Scarpa calling out the signals. He's looking to throw. He's looking for his tight end up in the air and batted away. You had Springs and Kim over there defending against Dylan Salva. 3 receivers to the far side. They went to the one-on-one, or tried to get a one-on-one matchup with Salva on the other end.
Springs had some hamstring issues last year. He's healthy right now, and boy, you see the difference, especially as a cornerback. When you're feeling good and healthy, you can go up there against a guy who's a lot bigger and taller. Good vertical, good timing, too, by both defensive backs to get up there and knock it away.
Now it's a 4-receiver set on 3rd and 3. 20 seconds left on the clock. Scarpa throwing, end zone, no shot, out of bounds. Penalty marker flies late.
Scarpa got drilled, too. Sarkadiah just drilled Scarpa. Right when he was releasing this ball, Sarkadiah met him right in the chest, drilled him into the turf.
They're going to get Assumption for either holding or pass interference back there. Pass interference against Assumption.
16 seconds remaining.
So they'll get a first down.
First and goal.
Will be first and goal for Merrimack. See where they spot it, probably half the distance down the 4-yard line, just inside the 5.
Penalty is holding on that.
Penalties is one stat line that Bob Chesney won't be happy with here in the first half.
First and goal at the 2.
Other than that, Assumption's been nearly flawless. Trying to put a number up, though, is Merrimack. Ball's just outside the 3-yard line. Scarpa to throw over the middle. That one lofted well over the head of Demers.
One of the things, too, that back line of the end zone is almost like a 12th defender for these defensive backs and linebackers. They know they only have to hold for so long because you're not looking at a 40-yard long field, 50-yard long field. It's about 14 yards right now that they have to hold, even less than that, about 13 yards.
Villard in the backfield. It's Scarpa to throw. Fires over the middle, caught by Villard for the touchdown. Derek Villard snuck out of the backfield and found a little bit of space. Scarpa hit him. It's the second touchdown reception, or third rather, for Villard. And Merrimack's on the board.
Well, it's life for the Warriors. Going into the break, it's life for them, and their offense gets a little boost here at the end of the first half.
Extra point attempt coming to make this a 49-7 game.
Sculo into hold.
Kick is up. Kick is good.
That's good.
So 6 seconds left here in the first half. Assumption's lead trimmed to 42. Here's the touchdown to Villard. Little dump pass right over the middle and in between a couple of receivers. And Scarpa found his tailback coming out of the backfield. Kevin Shea attending to some pests in the press box right now. He did it last week at Holy Cross. He's doing it again here at Assumption.
A little life for the Warriors right now, and again, that's going to fire up the coaching staff at Assumption. They're perfectionists, and I think that kind of permeates through the team as well. The defense is not going to be happy about giving up points, but the grand scheme of things, you're looking at 49-7 ball game for Assumption. It's go into the break, and guys on the second team, third team, be ready. Your number's going to get called, and let's see how you produce here in the second half.
Merrimack does get the ball to start the third quarter, but this game is a long way from being over, but time-wise, but I think it may have ended a couple of possessions ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Resendez to kick. And this should be the last play of the first half. Picked up over the 25. And as time expires, Mason Spence is taken out of bounds. Assumption and Merrimack go to the locker rooms. Assumption on top, 49-7. We're back with halftime festivities in the second half after this. Welcome back. Our halftime statistics between Assumption and Merrimack, and the Hounds putting up 354 yards of total offense. Merrimack 164 total yards. They got a lot of those passing yards on that last possession that resulted in their points. 49-7. The big thing, the turnovers though, 4-1. That one turnover against Assumption ultimately didn't hurt them, but the Hounds have capitalized on 4 turnovers, including a pick 6.
Yeah, if you look at the time of possessions actually in favor of Merrimack, and the plays, total plays is almost even, but the execution is one-sided in this one. Monk's going up top and just throwing beautiful passes to all his receivers. I mean, throwing to Sam Blake and Deontay Harris and Ashton Grant, and this one's...
That was a 55-yarder to Ashton
6.
Grant. That made the score 42-0 late in the first half. Assumption 49-7 leaders on Merrimack here as we get set to start the third quarter. Assumption, LIU Post.
See, Post is tough. Post is really tough.
This is a team that I was talking to Mike Volcano. He was already talking about Post. He was talking about New Haven. You know, these are big teams coming up on the schedule.
The big three there is Post, New Haven, and Bentley.
Yeah,
it is going to be the big three to close out the year. You know, the other ones, every game's a game, but when you just look at what some of the other teams have done, you know, how St. A's and Stonehill and AIC have played, Assumption would be favored, certainly, in those games.
Everything in the league, and so important for Assumption as some delay here as the officials talking to the coaches on the near sideline. Bob Chesney talking to his special teams group.
And you know what they were, one of the biggest words they were using at halftime was focus. Stay focused. And I'm sure that's what Bob Chesney's reminding his squad right now. Let's remain focused. Let's keep our foot on the gas. Let's put this one away early. Don't give them any life. Don't give them any confidence. You got to come out. The first 5 minutes of this half are going to be so critical to both teams. Merrimack obviously wants to come out and do some things offensively and move the ball and put some points up and see if they can't get a little life going. And if you're Assumption, you want to turn up the throttle again and pin your ears back defensively and start playing like they were too, just like a pack of wild dogs flying around to the football.
Back in for Merrimack, 22 Demers.
Well, they've got one man backed as Merrimack. Single receiver is Demers. Assumption does this spread out look each time. And now Merrimack retreats back into a regular return formation. Martorella to kick. And we are underway here in the third quarter. Demers from the 1 yard line. Demers running right. Not a lot there. He's going to be stopped inside the 10 yard line. Spence got him inside the 10.
You know what?
Field position.
That's great coverage, and it's staying in your lane. Our guy, Mac Nakonshu, he didn't make the tackle, but he stayed in his lane. He disrupted things. He forced the returner to go wide. That's good coverage.
Merrimack takes over first down and 10.
Well, so here comes Scarpa and the offense. CJ Scarpa in the first half, 13 of 24, 105 yards passing, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He was sacked once. And he's throwing on first down. Throwing high to Sebastian Lucas, who makes the grab. And is got about 8 yards to the 17-yard line.
It was a dogfight with Springs going up for the football, and that's a good job to win that battle.
Just
by
Lucas's second catch of the game.
17-yard line, second down and 1.
As they hand off to Villard. Villard is going to be close to first down yards. He needed to get to 19. They're going to say he has it. And it's a first down for Merrimack at the 19-yard line.
1 yard rush. 3 yard rush to the 19. Until the first down.
See what they do here with this defensive line. Again, the Hounds kind of nicked up in the first half, lost one of their starters on the D-line.
That's Elijah Riley, who's hurt and not active here in the second half. They're coming after Scarpa. He fires it a little too wide of Demers. You'd think that he might have been influenced a little bit by that rush, getting rid of it a little quick.
Because I'll remind you that noisemakers are prohibited at all NCAA
Merrimack
games.
changes philosophy a little bit with how they try to attack this Assumption defense here in the second half. So far, quick throws.
Scarpa clapping at his offensive line, wants to get this play going. Here we go. It's a quick pitch out to Villard. Villard being chased by Bruno, and he's got good yardage, fighting for a first down, still on his feet, and he's over the 35 to the 37-yard line.
Well, if you're Merrimack, you want to see which guys on our team are going to continue to fight, which guys are going to put their head down and continue to work, and Villard is one of them. This is just a bulldog of a run by Villard. He gets some nice blocking on the outside, but when he turns this ball upfield, he gets his shoulders square, and he's just running through tackles, pumping his knees.
Trying to find Demers. He is cleaned up quickly, pass incomplete. Springs came in and delivered a lick. Villard's actually the leading rusher in this game by far. Right around 70 yards on the day. Leading rusher for Assumption was Mark Monks in the first half. He had 25 yards on the ground.
Not exactly what Assumption wants to have, their quarterback being their leading rusher. But again, when you got 49 points on the board, you're nitpicking.
Dylan Oxen nicked up in this game. The starting running back has not returned. Going deep is Scarpa. Flags fly, and it's incomplete. Scarpa was looking downfield for Rakeem Langston, a junior out of Malden.
That's the first real deep shot that Merrimack has taken down the field, testing that Assumption defense.
Well, in last year's game, Assumption had a big lead at one point in the game, and Merrimack scored on a couple of big pass plays. Penalties against Merrimack and declined by Assumption. It'll be a 3rd and 10 situation coming up.
Moving some bodies in and out.
Yeah, Goran Krasick there on the defensive line has been very good. Sarkadiah on the near end here. Here come the Hounds. Jailbreak, and it's incomplete. They were going to the near side for Perry.
It's a good call against a real aggressive pass rush, try to throw a screen, but Caleb Silva sniffed it out for Assumption, and he was right in the hip pocket of the running back. That's well designed. It's a great call. The timing of the call is great because they're, Assumption's coming with 6 or 7 guys. It's just one guy there, Silva, sniffed it out, playing great assignment football, stayed right with his man.
A little spread look here on the punt. Resendez with Harris and Hill back to return. It's a rugby-style kick. It's blocked, and Assumption is going to take over the football. Merrimack actually recovered it. Resendez got clubbed. Mason Spence in on the play. This is a rugby-style kick. He has no shot of getting this off. Spence goes right into him. And the kicker gets crushed, Resendez. I don't know. Yeah, you have heat coming. You just have to get rid of that one. He did not. Assumption's got great field position coming back. Deontay Harris and Stephon Hill were back to receive. They'll have to wait for another one another time.
That's a redshirt freshman, the punter. Remember, Merrimack lost their long snapper in the first half of this game. Now the punter's shaking up.
All right, Mark Monks is the quarterback in the shotgun. 4 receivers set with Doug Santos, the tailback. Monks calling the play at the line. Shifts Santos behind him in the pistol. And now it's an option. Option out to Santos. Santos cuts it back. There's not a lot of room there. He did well to get close to the line of scrimmage, or get almost back to the line of scrimmage. Olan Abner there disrupted things in the backfield. A good linebacker for the Merrimack defense.
Taylor in on that tackle.
Avery Taylor's had a decent game. He's been around the ball a lot for Merrimack. Here's Monks throwing. Penalty markers fly. He hits Santos. Flags flew on both sides from both judges. And let's see what the call is.
Flag on the play.
It's against the Greyhounds.
Against the Greyhounds, you could say that's the one problem they've had today. There's been very few problems by then. Probably the other one was maybe the touchdown that was called.
Maybe a legal procedure or formation there, and
which was a penalty.
Against
legal formation on that.
Legal formation against Assumption. The defensive coordinator for Merrimack College is Mike Giannetti. Played football for Brian Cullen over there at Worcester State. Giannetti coached there, was a strength coach, and is now the defensive coordinator for Merrimack College, but ties to the area. One of Worcester State's all-timers. on the staff. Monk's going deep, looking for Sam Blake going upstairs. It's tipped and incomplete. Brian Carroll the closest to it after the tip, as Blake and Harris were in the vicinity, and Blake could not come down with it.
Yeah, a lot of traffic around both guys. Blake going up strong for the football. There's 3 defensive backs and 2 wide receivers there.
3rd and 16 coming for the Greyhounds. They bring a new package in of receivers, including Tyus Boykin. They're going to go 5 receiver set with an empty backfield here. Ashton Grant's in the slot. Here's Monks. Thought about dragging it to Grant. He's going to go down. Go? Is he? No, he's still on his feet. He stayed up. And Monks is on his feet and rolling. He's back inside the 35, and it'll be a 4th down coming, but he got about 11 yards.
Well, that reminds me of a return years ago, Holy Cross and Bucknell, where a guy was thrown, but his knee never touched. He got actually thrown onto another player, and that one there, like the defender, keeps his knee off the ground. Monks gets some blocks downfield and just keeps weaving his way here.
You think he's down, so they slowed up just a little bit. All right, here comes Tracy. This is a 51, 52-yarder being attempted by Cole Tracy. It would tie his career long and an Assumption College long. Tracy's kick is drilled, and it is no good. Just wide left. It had the distance. He hit a 49-yarder last week, and he would have furthered himself in the Assumption record books had he hit that one. He hit a 52-yarder against LIU Post in 2015.
That 49-yarder he hit last week, Bob Chesney said that was good from 60, 62. He crushed it. That one just comes up short, but the accuracy was there, and you're talking literally about another yard or 2 more, and that's through the uprights. He's a great weapon to have. Cole Tracy was at a kicking camp this summer, and it was all Division I guys, and they had guys standing up. I'm from Oregon, I'm from Stanford, and Cole Tracy, I'm from Assumption, and he got to the gold medal round. It was he and another kid who shared the top kicking honors at this camp.
Nice job by the defensive line that time. They tipped the ball at the line of scrimmage, forced it incomplete.
2nd down and 10.
Bring up 2nd down. There's Derek Villard, leading rusher in this game. He's had a good start to his season. Bob Chesney's group trying to lock things down here in the 2nd half and maintain this momentum, this lead, this huge lead that they built in the 1st half. Blitz coming from Joe Kim. They get it off, and it's Sebastian Lucas from Scarpa who takes another hit. About 8 yards on the play to Lucas.
Scarpa's going to be sore tonight. He has taken a lot of shots in this game. Kim gets him here, but he's had a few where the defensive linemen have drilled him into the turf, and you're talking 260 pounds just falling straight on you.
Now he's going to remember the Assumption game, maybe not for the best of reasons, but as you mentioned, bumps and bruises. 3rd and 2 coming for Scarpa and the Warrior offense. Scarpa to throw. Here comes the heat. Going downfield to Lucas. Tipped away by Springs. Great defense from Sean Springs Jr., who had position and got his right hand in.
Springs is an impressive player. He's a complete package. We've talked about his tackling, how quickly he closes on the football. Here's one-on-one, man-to-man coverage. He's battling, and he looks back. See, he turns his head around early in the process. There's some hand fighting on both sides, but Springs turns around real early, locates the football, goes up and knocks it away. Great defense, great coverage.
C.J. Scarpa came in averaging 414 yards passing per game. Had 105 at the half, has a long way to go against this Assumption defense. The punt from Resendez is back. Deontay Harris with the catch, and on him quickly are the Warriors, and quickly taking down Darian McKenzie, a freshman from Berlin, Maryland.
It's good hang time. That's a good punt. Good punt, allowing your coverage team to get down there and bottling up the return squad for Assumption.
Now Resendez, he got hit, remember, on that last rugby-style kick and had to be helped off the field. He was back and got a good kick off that time.
First and 10 at the Greyhound 25-yard line.
Monk's still in there in the shotgun. He's going to run with it. Monk's trying to get outside of Carroll, and he's going to take a shot out of bounds, and a flag flies. It'll be a late hit against Merrimack as Monks was on his way out of bounds. It was close.
It's a personal foul, as you said, the officials.
Late hit out of bounds. It's a 15-yard penalty.
Yep, late hit out of bounds.
Tell you what, when you look at this, number 28's Brian Carroll. He read this play right away. He was a safety playing about 12 yards deep, came flying up at the snap of the ball. It was a great read by Carroll, great open field tackle. And his teammate coming in, putting the extra on. Not what Merrimack wants. You don't want to give Assumption any more help. They don't need it. You don't want to give them any help at all. You give them 15 yards and a first down. That'll be one the defensive back will get real small during films. He'll be crouching down.
Monks to throw. Thought about it and avoids a sack again, and now flings it downfield. Caught and completed for decent yardage there. Kevin Falacki, the tight end. A big guy in Falacki. He's got good size. They want to get him a little bit more into it. On the offensive side, they drill a pass into him here.
Yeah, the tight ends don't get a whole lot of receptions in this offense. That's a nice one.
Here comes the explosive Doug Santos inside the 40 to the 38. Santos had some publicity on him and his family, of course, with on the national and international scene with DACA. President Trump wanting to rescind that program. Santos and his sister are dreamers. That one might be well, they'll call it incomplete. But Santos is from Peabody. Actually got his green card before and during the recruiting process to Assumption. So he wouldn't be impacted by a rescinding of DACA, but his younger sister, who wants to go to college, would be. And so certainly something the Assumption team has rallied around one of their own about, supporting Doug. But Doug Santos came from Brazil. His family is from Brazil and came to the country, benefited from that Dreamers program, according to his coach, Bob Chesney, and has been just a blessing for the Assumption offense so far.
Yeah, and it's got to be a lot just weighing on his mind. You know, I mean, obviously, in the quiet times when he's sitting around and he's calling his family, calling his sister, is, you know, in the back of the mind, is she going to be here tomorrow? Are they going to come get her?
Yeah, it's
a lot of pressure on a young man and any family.
But the story, his story, just himself coming from Brazil and how he got to the country and excelled in high school. Now he's here at Assumption as a student athlete, and you know, he's doing really good things on the field and doing a nice job being a part of this Assumption community. Assumption's going to come out and punt here. Wallace had a couple in the first half, and
let's see.
There's a timeout taken by Merrimack. Wallace had 2 punts in the first half, averaging 42.5 yards a kick. College football on Charter TV3, presented by Bay State Savings Bank, by the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia, by Worcester State University, by the Worcester Railers Hockey Club, and by Unibank. Third quarter action, Andy Lacombe with Kevin Shea, Riley Shea, Brady Shea, and Ireland Shea all with us here. They're doing a nice job here as our associate producers of today's broadcast.
Not always happy with Dad on this day.
Nope.
When they get to come here.
Nope.
But as I say, when they're older, I think they'll appreciate it. The wisdom of my 48 years. I think when they're older, they'll appreciate it.
I know I appreciate the wisdom of your 48 years. It's a unique wisdom. Here's the punt, and this one's trying to angle to a corner from Wallace. Nicely done. It'll be caught by Demers at the 8-yard line. Nice job by Wallace to pin it down inside the 10. Gives a thumbs up to his coach, Mike Volcano, as he comes off the field. Wallace doing his job.
You know, you and I looking in the record books and seeing Matt Pedoni, Billy DeMailier. It's great to see the history of this Assumption program. And Billy DeMiglia both and Matt Pedoni in the books as running backs and all-purpose yards as well. Paul Cantiani, one of the coaches here for years. Sean Mahoney, the coach at Marlboro now. He was the coach here for years.
Pedoni, if he hears this, I knew he was good. I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he had some great numbers
He's
here.
always smiling. You'd think he's an easygoing guy. He was very, very effective.
Pedoni had him as a student as well. That one's complete over the middle. O'Reilly making the grab as Scarpa got hit in the end zone as he let that one go.
Caleb Silva on the tackle.
Now the front four is really starting to hit home here on Scarpa. They're getting more and more contact on him. It seems like every time he gets rid of the football.
Silva coming in, the leading tackler on this Assumption squad. And he led them in the first half as well. No safety here. Yeah, the middle of the field's open.
Kind of.
Now they're backing up a little bit.
Yep, Benson's really close to the line of scrimmage. He's almost in man-to-man, and they throw deep. Nobody's home. Scarpa hits the turf again. Bruno is close. And they brought some heat from Caleb Silva again.
That's great confidence, though, in your defensive secondary to go where you didn't have any safety help there for your cornerbacks. Your safeties were up a lot closer to the line of scrimmage in man coverage.
Silva has a couple of sacks to his credit here in the early going of the season. 3rd and long for Scarpa, 4 receivers set. Here come the Hounds with bringing 4. They throw complete to Demers over the 16-yard line. He's going to be about a yard, 2 yards shy of a first down. And they'll have to bring the punting unit out for Merrimack. 56 points were scored in the first half. And it's been a shutout on both sides so far here in the 3rd quarter.
Now the punt return team coming on for Assumption. They should get good field position here. See what Harris can do. Again, he's returned a kickoff and a punt for a touchdown this season.
Resendez, good high kick. Going to be room for Deontay Harris. Deontay sneaks through for a few, maybe about 5 on the return to the 46 of Merrimack.
Merrimack player is down on the turf, favoring his knee. It's Cristiano Rivero.
College football on Charter TV3, brought to you by the Sullivan Group, the Central Mass Safety Council, Nichols College, Bertera Nissan of Auburn, Holy Cross Athletics, Interstate Batteries, Milford Federal, the Worcester Railers Hockey Club, and by Poochie's. Next week, we're at Holy Cross. Lafayette comes to town in a Patriot League affair. The Leopards and the Crusaders, 1 o'clock live on Charter TV3. Kevin and I will be there. We had a good experience last week with the UNH game.
Yeah, we certainly did. A lot of folks got to see some of those highlights.
Yeah.
Around the country.
We went viral.
Sean Mulcahy played here too, going back to some of the alums here. Sean Mulcahy, the Doherty coach, played here. Mike Malley, Worcester Academy coach, played here. I was joking with Sean Mulcahy that the program has come up a lot since they were there, and he said, you know what? We got Brian Kelly to Notre Dame, though. Brian Kelly, former player and coach here, the head coach now at Notre Dame.
Exum Strong's in the backfield with Monks, and he has the handle on it now, and Avery Taylor fighting with him, and he's able to get a yard maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Flag flew in the middle of the field. Be against the Greyhounds, it appears.
10-yard penalty.
My godfather, Vin Britt, played for Assumption College for Paul Cantiani.
10-yard penalty called against Assumption.
And my friend Steve Lindbergh, Mr. Lindbergh,
Moves the ball back to their 44-yard
played basketball with his sons.
remains first down. And
it's a good group of alums that they have here. Paul Cantiani said when he was coaching here, he would watch the New York Giants play on Sundays, and then whatever play that the Giants ran that worked, they would run the same thing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here. They would practice it, and that would be in the new game plan.
First and long. Quick hitter to Ashton Grant. He's trying to run behind Sam Blake's blocking. Gets blown up out of bounds. Not much there. To the 47.
52 and 28. Ragusa.
Picked up some of the penalty yardage back, but only a few.
Merrimack flying to the football. Sean Luizzo, former Shrewsbury standout, was one of the great alums of the Merrimack football program.
Oh yeah, saw him play here. Hair flowing, Luizzo, great emotion in that player. Quick hitter. Monk's hitting Khalid Exum-Strong, who takes a shot after he gets back into Merrimack territory to the 42.
There's
James
McNerney
was out there.
Going on down there now.
That was helmet to helmet, but McNerney, his center, was out there helping lead the way.
But look at Monks, though, just waiting, setting this screen up so well. And just having that poise to backpedal and draw the defense in.
Going long, downfield is Monks to Grant, incomplete. Grant got in between Wood and the safety Carroll, but he could not connect with Monks, or vice versa. And now the punting unit coming on.
Yeah, that one kind of carried a little bit on him on Monks. That pass carried a little bit on him. There's the great wide receiver, Ashton Grant. Sam Blake behind him. Grant getting a lot of interest from NFL scouts. As Bob Chesney said, they go see Peter, meaning Peter Pujols at Holy Cross, and then they come over here and they see Ashton.
Getting the punt, Wallace.
Another good kick from Wallace. See if this one can stick. It does. Sideways bounce. And it'll be downed inside the 1 yard line by Spence. There's a flag that's come in here as the officiating crew is getting their work done.
They're going to need rotator cuff surgery for these throwing so many flags.
What about Wallace, though? And Bob Chesney says he'll drop the toe of the football, the end of the football down on the toe to spin it on sportsmanlike conduct against Assumption. And that'll help the field position, which would have been inside the 1.
You can see that this is not going to, the coaching staff at Assumption is going to
look at the
side. This is a phenomenal kick.
From near the goal line.
You hit it and it goes directly to the right and dances along the goal line, staying in play. Great
Wallace.
Great punt.
Yep.
Nothing like my pitching wedge. My pitching wedge would have been a line drive that would have rolled right past the green into the woods.
I've seen you hit a pitching wedge. The only way you stop it is if it hits a house off of the fairway.
Or a tree and then someone in the head as our old promo.
That's correct.
Takes over first.
Appears to be a Continental airline flight coming in overhead. Heading somewhere, maybe to Manchester. Here's Villard running hard into the Assumption sideline and down around the 22-yard line.
He's got good speed. Villard has really good speed. He's a big kid, and we've talked about his strength as a running back. He has got good speed getting into the corner.
Now his number's climbing here as the afternoon goes on. Merrimack has not abandoned the run.
Second down and long.
Here, despite being down by 6 scores. There's Villard on the far side, and he's got first down yardage, raced out of bounds about the 33.
Someone's doing up-downs on the Assumption sideline. I don't know if that's someone got yelled at. Nazir Achikar, freshman wide receiver, doing some up-downs on the Assumption sideline.
All right, so first down for Scarpa in the shotgun. Fakes to give to Villard. Quick hitter to Lucas. Sebastian Lucas is run out of bounds by Carlins Platel.
Forced out of bounds by number 31.
Again, showing you the depth. He's just a freshman. Platel is a true freshman out there. on the in the defensive backfield. Mentally knows that he can play with the tall receivers. They love him as a matchup on the tall receivers.
There's the give to Villard. He's going to pound it in there for a first down. He needed a yard, got about 2. And now Derek Villard closing in on a 100-yard day. He's got 87 yards on 14 carries.
The mental aspect of this game has changed so much that's what's impressive, is when a freshman can come in and play, because there's so much that goes into defense, offense as well. It's just, there's a ton.
Scarpa to throw. Pressure coming, and he has to get rid of it. He's crumpled there by Goran Krasic, who's close to picking up another sack.
He's got pressure coming from both sides right here. It's the old Malachi crunch. Krasic's coming. Joe Bruno's coming as well. Yeah. And I mean, Scarpa, he's lucky he didn't get hurt on that one just because his arm was up. It was extended when he got hit. A lot of times a quarterback, when your arm's up and then you get thrown down, he didn't go on his shoulder directly. Man, that's a lot of beef falling on you, though.
He's taken QB hits in this game. There have been quite a few. Here's Scarpa. He's going to get hit again. Gives this one up.
Scarpa's pass complete.
And complete to Demers.
22 Demers.
You got to hit Scarpa that time by Caravallo.
Silva makes the tackle for Assumption. Scarpa's 6 feet. They list him at 6 feet. He might even be about 5'11", 170 pounds. And he's not a huge guy. He has taken a lot of punishment and shown great toughness.
3rd and long for Merrimack here at the 44-yard line.
Oh, Sarkadiah just got tackled, and he still almost gets the sack. He got absolutely tackled off the snap. Sarkadiah was so quick coming on the edge. He beat his man cleanly in 2 steps.
And they will get the hold against Merrimack.
I hope we have a replay of this. This is impressive.
Well, this is one of the things that
Look at this.
Chesney
he's coming on a 4-point stance right here, Sarkadiah, and he beats his man just like that. 2 steps he's by him. And he just has to reach out and try to tackle him, and then Sarkadiah still almost gets the sack.
He said when he came in at, 190 pounds out of high school, he didn't have that kind of speed, that get-off, and he's a very focused and studious ball player. And so he's been learning and learning and learning, and now he's confident that he's got a lot of it learned, so he's even faster off the ball than he's ever been.
He's tough, too. We'll get to a story. His old high school coach, Tommy Hendrickson, told me later on about a scrimmage down in Nantucket.
There's the punt, and they ran into the kicker. Did Assumption. And we'll see. Deontay Harrison
return
down inside the 10 or 20. It's roughing the punter, so Merrimack's offense is going to come back out on the field.
Well, we're going to get another look at Sarkadiah. So Ray was the freshman. They're scrimmaging Nantucket on the island. A guard gets hurt, so Tommy's just yelling, we need a guard, we need a guard. Ray runs in there. So the coaching staff's saying, you got to get him out of there. And he said, no, he wants to play, let him in there. Very first play, he breaks his thumb. So the team doctor for Nantucket's the doctor on the island. They go to the hospital, they set his thumb. So later on in the scrimmage, all of a sudden, Tommy gets a tap on his shoulder. It's Ray, he's put his whole uniform back in. He's like, Coach, I'm okay, I can go back in. He goes, he wanted to go back in, he broke his thumb. I was like, no, you're good, you're not going back in. But that shows you the toughness that Ray has, and just as a freshman, mentally, to be like, I want to compete at the varsity level. I'll play against those seniors.
42-yard line.
Now he's just gotten better and better here at Assumption over the years. And man, he is an imposing character out there on the field. Scarpa throwing, and it's wide of Mount, out of bounds.
Mount is incomplete. Second down.
Again, 2 defensive linemen right around him. Bruno has been in the backfield all day long, as has Krasic. This is a very, very good defensive line.
Yeah, and this is where they shine because of the 2 and 3 waves of guys they can send through on a hot day. You know, A lot of times it's the offensive line that wears away at you. Well, and you got 12 guys coming at you instead of 4 or 6. They can wear on an offensive line. Quick dump by Scarpa. It's incomplete. Had Joe Bruno coming around the corner again.
He almost got him. He almost got him. He reached over the shoulder of the tackle, and he just got a hand on Scarpa right as he was releasing that.
He's incomplete.
Yeah, these guys are fun to watch. They are fun to watch, this defensive line. I'm enjoying it. I'm watching the front 4 on the defensive line on every play. Just watch them get off the ball. And you know what? It's nothing fancy. I don't even think I've seen a spin move. It's literally like bull rushes or just rip underneath the arm of the tackler guard.
Just 3 coming this time, and here they come. Krasick got held.
Hold.
No call.
And the ref saw it. The ref saw it. He put his hand in his back pocket, and you know what he said? It's 49-7. I'm not going to call that.
Yeah, they're almost.
That's exactly what he did.
There's a couple guys turned around laughing here, but the guys who aren't laughing are the defensive line coaches who know that their guy just got held.
18-yard pickup on that pass.
Holy
First
cow.
down and 10 Warriors.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, you know.
That's a 49-7 no call is what that is. It was a little stunt.
3 guys
and
coming.
Came free.
That's it.
Or beat his man off the stunt. And he got waylaid.
There's Villard. Picks up a couple more up the middle.
Well, the guys in the truck are happy that that was not called and that
Villard, the ball
this clock
carrier.
maybe will run a little bit.
Tackle on the play by 53.
We have had 2 marathon games back-to-back. Well, the Holy Cross game last week,
hey,
3.5 hours.
We've got another 2 coming because Holy Cross games don't get any shorter.
This one's a long game already. This one's already 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes, and we're still in the 3rd quarter.
I think Riley Shea's kicking my chair. The creative director he might want to hand me a note.
The creative
He's going to hand me a note
attention span
for something to talk about, I think. They go to O'Reilly. O'Reilly's wrapped up around the 15. Where'd he go? Where'd the creative director go? Oh, there he is.
His attention span starting to wane.
I think he was going to give me a stat to read on the air. Riley, do you have any stats for me to read on the air?
We've got to see if the spotter will come up with one. Brady should have a stat. Here's another look at that. Scarpa delivering a strike. Quick hit, almost a pick play. Good play for Merrimack as they continue to move.
First down inside the 15 for the Warriors. Low snap, Scarpa to throw. Villard shakes 1 tackler and gets out of bounds inside, close to the 6-yard line.
This is where they liked Villard at the end of the half. I was going to say that right before the snap. They were looking for him, and they eventually got him for a touchdown right before the half in this kind of situation. And that's what they do here. They little circle route out of the backfield, delayed. Now the one before for the touchdown, he just kind of went delayed on a little crossing route.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Worcester, no scoring in the quarter. Assumption still leads 49-7.
Bay State Savings Bank brings you Kasasa. What's Kasasa? It's a catchy word for earning cash that just might make you want to dance. Get paid for doing simple things you do anyway. That's free Kasasa checking.
Ask for Kasasa by name at Bay State Savings Bank, proud sponsor of the Friday Night Football Frenzy.
Local news from Central Massachusetts for Central Massachusetts.
A water main break in Shrewsbury causing some minor flooding. The national gas price average has hit the highest pump price of the year. Well, firefighters battling flames at a 3-decker in Worcester. A Webster man is arrested after Worcester police say he assaulted one of their officers.
Reporters in the field. And an in-depth local forecast. Worcester News tonight on Charter TV3.
All right, welcome back. Getting set to start the 4th quarter of play. Bob Chesney delivering a challenge to his team, perhaps here in the huddle with Mike Pucko behind him, a defensive line coach. What did Coach Chesney say about Coach Pucko and Coach Senior? defensive line's taking on their characteristics. Doesn't know if that's a good thing.
No, he was laughing about that.
About his own dad?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
They have definitely taken on the characteristics of those two, and he said that. That's a little dangerous. And then, you know, you and I and Coach Chesney were talking about just how much Mike Pucko did for the kids at Holy Name, and what he was so much more than a coach. And there are so many kids playing in college right now solely because of Mike Pucko and what he did. Driving kids to school, driving kids home from practice, feeding them.
Scarpa to the end zone. It's caught at the 1. O'Reilly. It'll be first and goal for Merrimack. Clock continues to run.
Mike Pucko was phenomenal. Phenomenal at Holy Name as a coach, as a mentor for these kids. He was great.
Scarpa trying to punch it in for the second time here. Ball's on the ground, and he goes down, just covers it up at the 5.
Recovered by Scarpa, and it'll bring up a second down.
Scarpa 22 of 43 through 3 quarters, 169 yards. He added that last completion, so 23 completions for the senior signal caller. It has not been prototypical one of his weeks here in the first, as it has been over the first 3 weeks. Again, averaging more than 400 yards passing a game coming into today. Scarpa's going to throw. He's looking to the end zone. Going to Demers, and it's incomplete, broken up. Contreras, I believe, broke it up at the last minute.
That's a great play. I thought they were going to throw a flag in there for not looking back, but he got the arm in right there and rips it out as they go out of the back of the end zone. Great defense. And that time, the linebackers in the secondary had to hold their coverage for a long time. Scarpa had time to throw, and he was patient, and he waited. That's tough, to hold your coverage for 5-6 seconds.
All right, third down coming at the just outside the 5 for Merrimack. Ball's mixed up on the snap, recovered by Merrimack. Not sure what happened there, but it was recovered by an offensive lineman, and Ricky Norris fell right on top of him, a defensive tackle. Here's the Merrimack O lineman who recovered the fumble. That's Joe Peduto, a captain. Timeout, we'll take it with him. Assumption on top by a lot. Coming up this week on the Friday Night Football Frenzy, it's an old-fashioned Swiggle showdown as Leicester visits Grafton. Auburn goes on the road, taking on Tantasqua. It's the 146 Rumble as Uxbridge travels to battle Millbury. And the mountaintop will be rocking as St. John's visits the Wachusett Mountaineers. The Frenzy on Charter TV3. The Frenzy presented by Bay State Savings Bank, the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia, Worcester State University, and Unibay. Welcome back. Fourth quarter action, 13:49 left. Assumption still on top, 49-7. Merrimack trying to go in here. It's going to be third and long coming, third and goal. Outside the 10-yard line. You know, you get down inside the 1-yard line and you don't give it to Villard? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, this guy's been your best offensive player. And now you're in a passing situation, third and goal.
Watch for him coming out of the backfield. See the middle of the field open. Watch for him on some sort of delayed, just kind of slip over the middle route, especially if the linebackers are coming.
Showing a blitz from the safety, Kim. Here comes Assumption. Kim got to him and almost intercepted through the hands of Sean Springs.
Oh, Scarpa took another huge hit.
Scarpa pointing. He's pointing to Lucas and wanted him to go outside. He went inside.
Fourth down.
Well, this is just pre-snap communication and post-snap communication between the quarterback and the receivers. You want everyone on the same page. If they see the blitz, and you have man coverage, you're on an island out there. Obviously, they have something. The quarterback was thinking he's going to go out. The receiver was thinking he's going to go in, but the quarterback has no time. It's got to be get that snap and get rid of it.
So 4th and goal now. 4 receivers for Merrimack. Lucas to the near side. Assumption jumped off sides. It's going to be a free play for Scarpa to the end zone. Incomplete. Should be an offsides call, though, against the Assumption, and they'll get another play.
Yeah, new life, and that's not going to please Bob Chesney. He just he was shaking his head.
5-yard penalty, keep 4th down.
Assumption has had 12 penalties after 3 quarters of play, 120 yards. They just added to that.
And they're normally a very disciplined football team. This is unlike Assumption with the penalties.
For that penalty, moves the ball up to the 5-yard line. Again, is 4th down, Merrimack.
All right, here's Scarpa. One more chance here from 4th down. This time only 5 yards away, a little over 5. 4 receivers. Scarpa to throw. Over the middle, it's deflected and intercepted. Intercepted by Assumption. It looks like to be Benson again, the 2nd of the day. And he took it back over the 10. The Greyhounds hold on defense. And Jed Scott was in the mix there, the big fella, number 97. And maybe he got a hand on the ball here.
Benson last year was just a couple votes shy of being Player of the Year in the NE10.
Yeah,
He's making a run at that award again this year.
Look at the big guy, Jed Scott. He's a run stopper, a plugger in the middle. And does he get a piece of this ball, deflect it up? Sure looks like it.
Yeah, he does. He tips it up in the air. Benson picks it off. This Assumption defense coming up with another turnover in their own end zone.
New Haven 21, Pace University 20.
Wow, a score just went out about New Haven and Pace being a 1-point game. Here's Khalid Exum Strong. That would be a surprise and a half. But
you
know,
at this
you
program,
can you hear people reacting to any 10 scores.
Yeah, and that hasn't happened.
That didn't
in the
happen.
past because they're all thinking any 10 championship.
Right.
They're thinking, okay, who are our big rivals here for the league title? That was never the case.
It's
as long as the program,
you know, Kev, it's a beautiful day, but this game's been over for at least 90 minutes now.
Yes.
And we're still almost at capacity with the crowd that was here at the beginning. There's still a ton of people here in the end zone and around the field. You might be tailgating at this point. You may have tailgated. You may have gone out for halftime for a tailgate and not come back.
That's what I would have
watched the game from the parking lot.
I would have, especially if someone had some good food out there.
Yeah,
that would have been it.
Oh, there was some good food out there when I was walking in.
Exum Strong, the ball carrier.
Raven wins by 1 over Pace.
Yeah, that's an eye-opening result.
Yeah, that's a shocker.
Think New Haven would be a couple touchdowns better than Pace. So here's Monks throwing downfield. He's got a man. Deontay Harris goes up and gets it. First down. It'll be spotted at the 38-yard line.
The courage that Harris has to go up for this ball because he knows the safety's bearing down on him. And, you know, that Monks has to put some air under this. So you're thinking, you're concentrated on the ball, but you're thinking you're going to take a big hit. That's a nice grab.
30-yard line.
Monks still in there. Under 12 minutes to play. And slinging it. Deontay Harris is over 100 yards receiving to lead the Hounds today. Here's the give. Khalid Exum Strong. Look at him fire through the hole. He breaks free. And he's still on his feet. Has a block. Khalid Exum Strong to the end zone. And he's just tripped up by Brian Carroll at the 6-yard line. Wow.
Well, that's why Mike Volcano was raving about him. He loves Khalid Exum Strong, and what he brings to the table, too, is the third running back here. The strength, the power, the determination. Freddie Akito's number 12, blocking for him downfield, gets a great block on the safety.
What about Carroll, though?
Exum Strong just gets tripped up.
Carroll gets blocked and still recovers to get him. And here's Williams, the red zone quarterback. Has a touchdown, had the first touchdown of the game rushing. And he keeps it and spins out of a tackle. And not much there. He's going to go down.
Cody Williams.
Yeah, smart move. That's one where
on that rush.
He's looking, and the defensive end was coming down on him. He fakes the run, but the defensive end never bit. And was waiting right there for him.
How about this one? The offensive line, relatively new for Assumption, had not allowed a sack coming into today. They did allow one, and that was on that fumble from Mark Monks late in the first half, where he went down. They called that, credit that with a sack. One sack allowed.
With how much they throw the
4
football?
weeks, with throwing the football as they do.
It's incredible.
And you lost 2 huge offensive linemen to graduation last year. Here's Williams throwing to the end zone. He's got a man. It's caught. And that's a touchdown. Kevin Falacki for 6.
How about that? The tight end's getting involved in the offense now. 6'6", 245.
And Monks is down. It appeared he got drilled. Or Williams, rather. Excuse me. The quarterback got hit after he let it go.
Well, he waited. Williams waited and waited just to give Falacki time to clear the defense. He took a big shot.
How about Williams? A guy who really competed with Monks and Toby and has come in and run for a touchdown and now thrown for a touchdown in this game as a change of pace guy.
And again, you mentioned a transfer from Monmouth. I mean, there's a guy that, remember, both of the starters are seniors. He's a junior, Williams. The future QB for this team.
Drilling it through is Cole Tracy. And here's a look. There's the shot you're seeing him take as he gets rid of it, and Falacki just gets lost. Falacki in for the touchdown. Assumption has a lot of stars, but they've spread out the star search today. You could find just about anybody and talk about how valuable they've been today. There have been a lot of guys contributing.
Yeah, Falacki just gets behind the defense, just waits, and of course they're looking at some of those marquee names and numbers that are right in front of them in the coverage, and they start to get sucked up when Williams looks. And there's Mike Volcano, the ultimate T-Hawk, former great coach at Algonquin. Boy, I love seeing him. He's one of these guys that's always positive, always uplifting. He's so intense when he's on the football field. He's so passionate. He loves his guys.
He's great.
Loves his guys like they were his own family members.
Yeah, if you're around him and you don't get excited about football, then you have to check your pulse, because you cannot help but be excited about just football, about life, about the game, everything.
He'll pump you up about yourself.
Seriously.
Remember, we used to say if we ever felt down, we were going to call Mike Volcano.
That's all you need.
And he would bring you right back. You'd feel like $1 million after talking to him.
That's all you need. He's great. Here's Demers inside the 10, and they do hand it off this time. And into the wash at the 20. How about the Assumption kick return team? They've had to deal with that a couple times, and they basically just stay home, stay in their lanes, and make a play.
It's great coverage. It's great coverage, and again, it's the discipline and repetition, working on special teams. And they have so many starters on the special teams too. They got some defensive starters that just don't want to come off the field. And so they fight to be on those special teams, and you got guys that are trying to get more time on the field that are on special teams, trying to open up the eyes of those coaches. It's really a good combination.
There's Scarpa, quick hitter, and complete to the outside. Jake Kloss, Jr. from Dix Hills, New York, and a New Hampshire transfer is close. Got about 5 on the play, second down, clock running, under 9.5 minutes left in the ball game. Scarpa throwing, flags fly, and it's caught on the outside. Again by Close. Shy of a first down. Offsides against Assumption. If they take the penalty, it might be a first down. See what they do. Another penalty, though, against the Greyhounds, and won't be happy about it. They're going to check where the spot was and see if the 5 yards makes it a first down. It'll be either 3rd and short or a first down or 2nd and short. Let's see. They're going to march the 5 yards off, take the penalty.
9:21. If you're Merrimack right now and the Merrimack coaches, you're thinking about next week right now with what you want to see from the guys that are in here offensively, and you're thinking about the week after, and you're thinking, okay, let's see who's gonna make plays, but we want to keep a rhythm here. We want to, you know, we've been basically just completely dominated defensively by this Assumption team, but you want to try to get a spark here, even though the game's out of reach.
Complete out to Lucas to the 36-yard line. 37. Gain of 7 on the play. Sebastian Lucas is a big play receiver, and he has been minimalized, to say the least, by this Assumption defense. His impact on the game.
I'll tell you what, I want to give a tip of the hat to Andrew Boucher. He's been down there. He's our field cam operator. He's been down there with the championship belt. He doesn't have a grip. He's running the cables and the camera all day long, going up and down the sideline in this intense heat. He's done a great job for us.
Complete to Demers, close to midfield. It's a first down. You know, we've had guys in this heat that have wilted. Boucher has not.
No. No quitting Boucher.
No, Boucher is out there. He's grinding.
Yep. He's going to need a cold shower when this one's over.
Last week, Boucher was in the sun field in the end zone cam for Holy Cross, and I saw him burying a Diet Pepsi at the end for liquid refreshment. He drills it in, does Scarpa to Demers for 11 more yards and a first down.
Silva in on the tackle. Bush is a world traveler. Came back from Switzerland recently. He's been all over, but as he says, there's no place like home. Home to him, Charter TV3 Sports.
Does he say that?
That's what he says. I've been all over. I've been all over this world. I've met all kinds of people. There's no place like home. And that's my Charter TV3 roots and family.
Oh, that one's nearly picked off by Benson. He almost took it off of Demers' hip. Incomplete.
Benson was a great baseball player in high school. And you can see the way he tracks the football. You know, a great center fielder, outfielder. You can track the ball well, and that's what Benson does.
Like Jackie Bradley Jr.
Yep.
Nobody tracks the ball like JBJ.
Out there in high school tracking the ball, playing defensive back.
Here is 2nd down and 10. And Scarpa tipped, and they just wipe out the receiver because you can, and it's incomplete.
Scarpa taking another hit. Jason Flanagan, sophomore defensive end, came in and put a big stick on Scarpa.
I'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 at the 39-yard line.
There are some guys just coming in and out on that defensive group right now for Assumption. They've got kind of a mix of 1s and 2s, but you know, you mentioned all the competition, 2s and 3s too. I mean, you know, there's not a lot of difference because these guys are competing for that 1 spot every week. Here's Scarpa downfield and somehow caught. And a nice job hanging on to it. Ryan Eder, the senior.
Silva hits him right as the ball gets there. Silva can't believe he hung on to the football. Look at Silva. Gets there right as the ball arrives, perfectly timed.
What Silva does is he stops Eder shy by about a yard of a first down. So this is 4th and 1 for Scarpa. Assumption showing blitz. Here they come. The give is to Villard. Villard has well, let's see. He's close to the sticks. Depends on the spot. They're going to say the guy on the far sideline, who earlier today took a first down away from Assumption, is waving for them to move the chains. I mean, they're not quite on the same page, but it's a first down.
Tackle to 54, Charles Williams.
And Assumption rotating some of those defensive linemen in and out. Jalen Johnson. Here comes a pass rusher. He's a great pass rushing specialist. He comes in the game.
Fake the give. Here comes the heat from Krasick over the middle and almost intercepted. Oh, what a great late break on the football.
Wow, that is good work.
That's Silva.
Silva. Now, he may not get the interception. He may get a bone for this, though. It's late in the game, and he's still busting his butt there. Not going to give up anything. You saw Krasick, Goran Krasick, coming in from his defensive line position, putting the heat on Scarpa.
2nd and 10 coming. 6:15 left in this one. Scarpa going downfield, looking for Lucas, and it is intercepted.
Scarpa's pass is intercepted.
Intercepted.
By 31, Carlos Patel.
Patel took it away at good position on Lucas. May have landed hard, got the wind knocked out of him. You see Lucas, he kind of gave him a tip of the cap. He knew he had it. Gave him a pat on the side for that pick from Carlos Patel, a freshman.
Yeah, he's a freshman out of Everett, 6'1", 185. They love him. Again, talked about how he can match up with those tall receivers. Look at him follow the ball. He gets his head around early, plays like he's a 5th-year senior.
And he's getting yanked down by Lucas, and wow, man, Scarpa took another shot. Watch, he gets yanked down.
Yeah, he sees Lucas's eyes get big. He knows the ball's coming. He turns his head around, finds the ball, locates it, goes up aggressively forward, picks it off. Another takeaway for this Assumption defense.
3rd pick for the Hounds. And here they come the other way.
Your man from Auburn, Mark Wright Jr.
Mark Wright
getting the call,
Jr.
getting the carry. He had a couple carries 2 weeks ago. Mark Wright had a phenomenal career at Auburn.
He doesn't have to change the colors too much.
No.
Wearing the same color blue as he did at Auburn. Yeah, Mark Wright was a great athlete.
Cody Williams at quarterback.
They're going to give out a lot of bones. They have sheets of those bones. They're going to go through a lot of sheets.
I think you're going to get, you have some guys, like I think Seamus Wallace is probably a candidate for Special Teams Player of the Week from any 10. So, you got a black bone if he gets that.
Yeah, it's impressive.
The guys get the good grades. They're going platinum.
They got Eloise Knowlton, the Dean of Students, as their guest coach this week. She was out in practice. They had a 6 a.m. practice on Tuesday in the rain. She was out there in practice at 6 a.m. They loved it. They have a guest coach each week, a faculty member or alum or someone who's close to the program. The Dean of Students, Eloise Knowlton.
And they promoted it. They promoted it all over campus through social media. It was up on the ACTV on campus here. Eloise Knowlton. She attends film study and everything. So yeah, I mean it's a big deal.
Yeah. 50th anniversary of football here at the school at Assumption, and Brian Kelly may be the most famous alum of the program.
Other than Sean Mulcahy.
That's true. Mike Malley. Those two still may owe some money for dorm damage, too. But you talk about just what they have become here, the standard that Coach Chesney and his staff and his players have set here over the 4 seasons. Very impressive. And he spent some time. Bob Chesney went out to Notre Dame in the offseason this summer. He spent some time around Brian Kelly. He's a guy, Coach Chesney, that you and I have both said this.
3rd down and 7.
You're going to see him on the sideline of a top 20 Division I team very soon, in the near future. You're going to say, yep, there's the guy he was coaching at Assumption, and he turned the program around.
I don't want him to leave,
no.
But, because we miss him.
Right.
But, he's a heck of a talent. There's no question about it.
Williams, the ball carrier.
There's Williams. Nothing there. If they tie him up, it'll be 4th down. We'll get Wallace a chance to come out and improve his stats again on the punting side of things.
No, and he's big on the community service and becoming a part of the community too. And he has really made that a focus. It's, you know, he does so much with this group off the field too. It's not just the wins and losses.
Yeah, during camp they have a day off and they go out in the community. They went to the St. John's Food Pantry, Food for the Poor program. They went to the Friendly House. They went to the Willows. And players were helping out wherever they could. And it's really part of the culture. There's Wallace. Nice job by Demers to run up under that one. Catches it at about 32, so a shorter kick. About 34 yards on that one for Wallace. Nice job by Demers to run up under it and minimize what would have been a pretty good Assumption bounce, you'd think.
Greyhounds' next home game, fans, will be the 50th anniversary of football here at Assumption. That'll be October 21st against University of New Haven. Saturday, October 21st.
Ryan Kelly was a softball coach here too. When he was football and softball, he coached Ann McInerney.
There's Ray,
softball, the associate head coach.
Just saw Ray. I wonder if he had his bones during this game already. It looked like he has more bones on his helmet already. There's Villard. He's approaching that 100-yard mark now on the day. Picked up a couple, and well, maybe only a yard there. So he was chased out of bounds. That's 92 yards on 17 carries.
Gain of less than 1. Bring up a second down at about 10.
Mark Monks, 18 of 30, 307 yards passing and 4 touchdowns today. And Williams 1 of 1 with a touchdown pass for 10 yards.
Their offense was in rhythm, no doubt about it.
They complete this one out to the tight end, Dylan Salva.
He's a big kid, 6'5", 250 pounds. This is a big tight end right here. Scarpa delivers, and look at the defensive backs too, flying up on him, bringing the wood there to try to knock him out of bounds.
Khalid Exum Strong is the leading rusher for Assumption today with 69 yards on the ground. There's a quick hitter again. Looks like it was close to about the 50-yard line.
You know, that tackle, 33, Vargas.
Yeah, the defense flying up. Jared Vargas, sophomore strong safety out of East Bridgewater.
Receiver on the far side for Merrimack's been in there a couple times. Nick Pilata out of St. John's. They're throwing in his direction, but that was to Demers. Pilata, you see him right there, 83, walking through your screen. Played on this field for the Pioneers. He's a Leominster kid. See Demers there, one of his teammates, but Pilata, as a true freshman, getting some time for Merrimack. Had a couple of catches coming into this week.
Well, he had a really great career at St. John's, and one of the things coming from St. John's and the offense they run a college-like offense with everything that goes into it. So not a huge learning curve for a guy like Pilata.
Good tackle over the middle. That's Levi Fancher.
Pass complete.
We haven't called all that often today because so many guys are making plays. Silva, one of his linebacker teammates there, and the D-line and the D-backs, and called everybody at least once, you'd think.
Merrimack calls a timeout with 1 minute and 1 second remaining. 56-7 Assumption. We're back with more from the Hound Pound, the dog track. We got to get a good name for this stadium right after this.
Coming up this week on the Friday Night Football Frenzy, it's an old-fashioned Swickle showdown as Leicester visits Grafton. Auburn goes on the road, taking on Tantascwa. It's the 146 Rumble as Uxbridge travels to battle Milbury. And the mountaintop will be rocking as St. John's visits the Wachusett Mountaineers. The Frenzy on Charter TV3. The Frenzy presented by Bay State Savings Bank, the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia, Worcester State University, and Unibank.
Welcome back. 1:01 left. Assumption in control, and they have been really since the opening quarter. The Hounds jumped out on top 21-0 after 1 quarter to play. They led 49-7 at halftime. It's 56-7 now. Scarpa going to the air, going to the end zone, and off the hands of Sebastian Lucas. Back there in coverage.
That's good defense.
Stephon Hill, and in the one-on-one game, looked like it was Kyle Barnes, number 7. There's Stephon Hill.
Yeah, Barnes is wearing like a hooded sweatshirt underneath his jersey. He's got the sleeves cut off it, but he's got the hood hanging out of the back of the.
He may be trying to cut weight for a roll.
This is the day to do it.
3rd down, 53 seconds left. Scarpa to throw. Throwing high and incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Scarpa's pass.
And last
long and incomplete.
Shot perhaps for Scarpa in this offense.
I'll tell you, looking at this defense, and this is, now you got second-team guys in there, some third-team guys in there, but everyone's on the same page. Everyone's the right read. You know, there's no miscommunication. There's no blown coverage. Everyone that goes out has 1 or 2 guys on them. This is a program. This is a football program. When you have everyone doing that, it doesn't matter if it's second team, third team.
Downfield, Scarpa looking, caught. O'Reilly spins around and has a first down.
Complete to O'Reilly.
He was able to get away.
Good for a first down.
From a couple guys. Cullen McCarty, a freshman linebacker for Assumption.
45 Milner and 40 McCarty.
In on the stop.
Clock
under 40 seconds. Scarpa downfield. And Demers inside the 25.
Pass is complete to Demers.
The clock's going to keep running short of the first down inbounds.
Pickup, 2nd down and about 3.
24 to go.
The 25.
Scarpa just clocks it, spikes it into the turf to stop the clock. Merrimack's out of timeouts. 21 seconds remaining, 56-7.
Next home game for the Greyhounds.
This is an impressive
Saturday,
win.
October 21st at 1 p.m.
This is an impressive win. What was 17-7 a week ago? Merrimack and Bentley.
Yes.
Bentley beat them 17-7. Merrimack team put up over 600 yards against Bryant, a Division 1A team, an FBS school. And to handle them the way they handled them today, in all 3 phases, a very impressive game for Assumption.
Well, never satisfied, Bob Chesney's teams. They've made it to the NCAAs. They want to go even further. This one caught on the outside. O'Reilly inside the 20. It's a first down. 15 seconds, 14 seconds left now on the clock.
Yeah, they've advanced to the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. Won in any 10 championship.
Balls at the 17-yard line.
Feathers in the cap of Bob Chesney, his coach and staff this program, but as you mentioned, they're always reaching higher. They're always striving for more.
There's depth. And, you know, they've a little dinged up today, although Dylan Oxen looks like he probably could have went. He could have kept going if they really needed him. There's Villard taken down inside the 15. That might be it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And it's all about health, Bob Chesney says, going forward. And they get out of this one healthy. They get out of it with a win. It's always a success. Bob Chesney and the Assumption Greyhounds a winner today, 56-7 over Merrimack. Impressive win all the way through. Next week we have Lafayette coming to Fitton Field to take on Holy Cross. Our coverage begins live at 1 p.m. For Kevin Shea and Phil Robo, our statistician, and all the crew down in our Charter TV3 production truck, I'm Andy Lacombe saying good night from Assumption. The Hounds rolling.